And you know what? As I'm clicking the record button, I realize I don't have any notes because normally I would have some sort of notes to read. So I'm totally gonna ad lib this, which means it's gonna be absolute pandemonium. Welcome, my friends, and welcome back to the Krieg Dominion. I am Omar Krieg, your lord and commander of the Krieg Dominion, and your host, especially your host and a player for this evening's event, which will be I don't know, what did I call it in the chat? Oh, Vampire Dark Ages Dark Tides Rising Episode 1, Fountains of Bright Crimson? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Because I think that's what James told me and I wrote it down as
Yeah,
such.
let's swap episode 1 for prologue. It's called prologue.
Okay, we'll go with Episode 1, Found. Yeah, we'll just, you know what, we're going to call what, you know what, it's going to be named whatever I call it by the end of the session and actually upload it to YouTube, and then it will have an official name that I won't change. I am joined by a number of crazy people, including one new guy who, frankly, we're just going to treat like absolute trash for at least a full season.
He deserves it.
Yeah.
He really does.
I absolutely do.
Well, let's do our normal check in with people, see what's new and exciting for them. We'll save the new guy for next to last. No, next to last, and then me. I won't have a whole lot to add. And then of course James, who can do his little shtick, spiel, whatever, and then he can launch us straight into how we're gonna avoid being staked on our first night. Darius, what's new and exciting for you since I don't know, when was the last time you were on one of my shows? Oh, Wednesday.
Yeah. Mostly sleep
Okay.
and a migraine.
Oh, that sucks. Are you good now,
Yeah.
or are you still?
Oh, I will be in about half an hour.
Okay.
I just took some meds for it. That's why my video was off.
Gotcha.
I'll avoid flashing lights in the game.
No, please do it. Please. I want to see this. I want to see what happens. For science, of course. Let's see. In the predetermined order that I definitely did not make up on the fly, Kane, you're next. What's new and exciting for you since the last time I saw you, which would have been a week or two ago? Except, yeah, about a week ago. We'll go with that.
It's the only thing I can really think of is I've got in about a month, starting in about a month, throughout to the end of the year, I've got a lot of tower climbing opportunities. So that's grocery money.
I was gonna say, is that like a you get paid to do it the one time, but you've got a couple of them lined up or something like that?
Yeah, it's pay for I show up and they pay me for helping out for the day.
Right.
There's a lot of the amateur radio community is unsurprisingly an aging community.
Okay. Oh, well, yes.
So there's tons and tons of guys with projects and towers, and there's a very small number of people who can actually like do the physical climbing or building towers and stuff.
Right.
So there's a duo that are overworked, who I'm helping with. So I've got all my equipment. It's all nice new stuff from this year. So it'll be good to get some work in that.
Oh yeah.
Have you watched the Fall yet, Kane?
Is that a movie?
It sounds like a movie.
Yes.
No.
It's a psychological thriller about two girls that climb a radio tower and then get
Oh,
stuck
I've
at the
seen
top.
clips of that.
That's the one I thought you were talking about.
No, I have not seen that. That sounds really stupid.
Oh, kid, I think I found a movie to add to our list.
Oh, yeah. Movies to watch drunk.
I'm actually seeing a couple of different things coming up for the fall, but
Yeah, it's in that same sort of vein as like what was the film about the girls that go caving and they find the monsters?
The Descent.
Descent.
Descent. Yeah. It's very.
I
love that
made by the
movie.
same people, is
Yeah.
it? I'm
I don't
detecting
know if it's the same,
trend.
but certainly it has that same vibe as like the Descent or 30 or was it 30 feet under or 30 feet down, what it's called.
Something
I
like
might
that.
I might actually enjoy it if it's like Descent, because that was a fun movie.
That was really fun.
Oh man, Jabba.
Hello.
New member to the community, new member to the streaming crew. Not that I haven't officially announced crew or anything. Wow, my face just totally disappeared there. First, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then Yeah, I guess that's actually it because we're not getting into too much more than that right now.
Okay. Hello.
That's- Sorry, go
I
ahead.
am
I got
Jabba.
something in my eye. It's bugging the
You
crap
are honestly. I actually have something ironically in that same eye. So like, I right there with you, dude.
Everyone just clean their eyes. We'll get over and done with.
Make sure go get your eye
Like an eye
drops.
break?
Make sure we're all
need
good.
to take a quick break and fix our eyeballs.
No, I am Jabba, Colby, whichever one doesn't really matter to me. I've been playing tabletops now since 2016, 2017. I started with D&D, and then it just kind of like evolved from there. I've been playing a bunch of new ones like within the last few years. Tried a few new systems, GURPS. We're playing Lancer right now. We started up Pathfinder. We switched from D&D to Pathfinder. Space Marine has been really fun. I've quite enjoyed Space Marine.
Space Marine.
Yes,
Somebody in this group had to say it like that.
It's Colonial Marines.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
That. Yes. I don't know. I'm not really too sure what else. I play a lot of Total War. I play Elden Ring and Cyberpunk and Risk of Rain and stuff like that.
You've definitely found the right group of people to be hanging out with in that regard. Now the problem, of course, is I'm mostly West Coast, and there's a couple of us, and then everybody else that just kind of straggles along from all over the world, including freaking Australia, for crying out loud.
Yeah, I am.
I was going to say, I'm on the East Coast. What's the issue? I'm on the East Coast.
You're not just 3 hours ahead of me, though, James. You're in a whole new calendar day. So.
I am used to dealing with the 3-hour time difference. My sister lives on the opposite side of the country, so I am very much so used to that.
Yes, that's right. Because you were saying she's up in BC or something like that, right?
Yeah, she lives in BC. Yeah.
Which,
I have played
for me, I know what that means because they are basically across the federal line or national border.
Okay. Yes, that makes sense then.
Not that, mind you, BC's pretty big. I'm not going to find her.
No, I would. Well, she lives on like the southern part of the island. So when I was there last year, whenever I'd have to drive to like Victoria, for example, driving along the southern portion, I'd just be looking at the state's mountain line. Yeah,
I get it. I live closer to New Zealand. I live the other side of Australia.
Nice.
So, yeah. So sometimes your neighbours feel different depending on where you are.
Indeed. I'll do a quick blurb on me, and then I'll kick it over to James, who can talk about whatever he wants to talk about, and then he can get us going with our actual game. My only new and exciting thing I've got really is, and I said something about this in Discord the other day, and I said a bunch more in AP's Discord, but the short version is my neurology appointment went better than I thought it could, to be totally honest. It was basically just a standard consult, like see what the situation is and what the next possible course of action is. I went in expecting to be told that surgery was going to be a decision that would be made later on, and I walked out with the idea of surgery is going to be discussed very, very, very soon. The doctor basically said I am a candidate. I had some x-rays taken to help determine which specific procedure I'll be doing. But with any luck, sometime in the next few months, I will have the, as I call it, the whole ass arm going numb problem resolved. Which is fucking huge for me. Because it's been much more aggravating and irritating over the last couple of months since I've actively been trying to do something about it. So, hopefully we can get it fixed, and then I can move on to the other problems of my life. James? Yes. I have no transition that wouldn't sound bad. I almost said something like, speaking about the problems of my life, but James, you're not really a problem in my life, so you're a boon in my life.
I'm a problem in lots of people's lives.
I'm sure you are. Please, sir, what's new and exciting for you, and then take us into the world of darkness.
So this is certainly not my first time on Omar's channel, but in case you are seeing it for the first time, I am Grimdark James. I'm a RPG writer, podcaster, and soon-to-be variety streamer. I've just relaunched my own channel, The Dice Mechanics, where I plan to do some actual plays, system reviews, and all that in the future. You can check out the back catalogue. All my entire podcast back catalogue is there at The Dice Mechanics at YouTube or grimdarkpodcast.com. And yeah, today I'm going to start for the third or fourth time, third time playing, and third time running. I think I played it once. The Transylvania Chronicles, which is the longest-winded scenario pack White Wolf ever produced for any of their games. Starting in 1198, it goes through until the year 2000. So a pretty extensive campaign of Vampire. I have started, I said several times, never finished it. Hopefully this, third time is the charm. And I've also made a lot of changes to the campaign, added in extra material, incorporated content from other books. So yeah, we'll just see. I have no idea how long this can go for. It could be a work of months. I don't know, but I'm keen to give it a go one more time.
It could be the King Arthur Pendragon, Great Pendragon campaign version of Vampire: The Dark Ages.
It very well could be.
Minus the inheritance thing.
Yeah. I need to acknowledge we're using Foundry VTT for the game, including the amazing World of Darkness 20th anniversary module that's been fan created for that and has been maintained brilliantly by the creator whose name I meant to write down but forgot to, so I apologize and I will credit him in a future episode. And also I want to credit that I'm using audio from Tabletop Audio, which is license-free audio for RPGs and can be used online. So if the audio comes through Omar's system into the stream, that's
It
where
should.
It's from Tabletop Audio.
It should.
Yeah. There you go.
Although me and technology, we all know I am hit or miss, so who knows what will actually happen.
That's it. Any questions before we get started?
I don't think I have any, but I'm sure I will have questions along the way, as will everybody else, I'm sure. For those that don't know, this is my first time playing Vampire. I've had one or two other face-to-face sessions that never amounted to much, and some experience with Vampire the Masquerade through way back when, role-playing on the internet. But like any sort of like actual face-to-face type environment, this is the first official time. Hachin, to answer your question really fast, this campaign begins well before I believe it was called the Council of Thrones, or excuse me, Thorns, where they established the Camarilla and the traditions that they followed. And then, of course, that also means the beginning of the Sabbat and the Anarchs.
Yeah, almost 300 years beforehand. Darius, you've joined the... Okay, so I see you've joined the Foundry now. Cool, so we're all on there. All right, I will get us started then.
Sure.
Am I unable to change my player name?
I can change it for you afterwards. That's fine. It's not
Okay.
going to appear on stream anyway, so all right, but we can change it afterwards. So we open up Mexico City, 1999. Night smothers the industrial fringe of the city, its broad avenues and shuttered warehouses bathed in the sodium glow of aging street lamps. The air is thick with dust and diesel, quiet but never still. Stray dogs skulk in the shadows, the hum of transformers buzzes overhead, and far in the distance the sirens wail for someone else. A white panel van turns onto a cracked side road, its headlights sweeping across graffiti-stained walls and rusted loading docks. It rolls to a stop outside a decaying factory, its windows long since boarded up. The building looks abandoned except for a man with a submachine gun leaning in the darkened doorway watching. The van's driver, a man in his 30s with cold eyes and a military posture, steps out and walks around to the passenger side. He opens the door, retrieves a cardboard box marked with hospital stickers, and makes his way up the concrete stairwell littered with trash. Inside, the upper floor is being crudely repurposed. Flickering fluorescent lights reveal a grim makeshift operations room. A folding table holds a laptop hooked up to a satellite modem, cables spilling like veins. One man is seated at it, typing furiously. Two others stand near a woman bound to a chair, heavy chains wrapped around her like iron serpents. She's stunning, even now. Long black hair, a torn blouse, blood-stained sleeves. But her emerald eyes are cold, focused, amused. The chains may hold her body, but nothing holds her will. The driver tosses the cardboard box onto the table and opens the flaps. Plastic packets of whole blood gleam inside. Without a word, he throws one to each man. The interrogators catch them greedily, tearing into the seals with practiced hunger. The taller interrogator turns back to the woman. "Where is the coterie?" he asks. You were in contact? Don't play games." She smiles faintly, a crescent moon behind a curtain of bloodied hair. You're wasting your time. I'm not afraid of you, or your blades, or your toys. You betrayed the Sabbat, the man growls, raising his voice. At that she laughs, not bitterly, but with real amusement. You think you understand the Sabbat? I was there, boy. I watched the sect crawl from the corpse of the Camarilla's arrogance. You thin-blooded parasites cling to names you don't comprehend. The driver glances at his watch. It's after midnight, we're running out of time. The man at the laptop taps a few keys. No change here, no launches detected, nothing on the feed. Tension coils in the room. The first interrogator slides a jagged knife from its sheath. Last chance. Tell us where they are, or this gets real quickly. The woman's smile lingers. I don't know their exact location, but if I did, it wouldn't matter. It's too late. Either the coterie succeeds or they don't. And if they don't, well, then tomorrow night this world will look very different. A silence hangs over the room like an executioner's axe. Then her voice softens. But I'll make you an offer. I'll tell you the story, the real story. Not just of what they're doing now, but why they're doing it. Maybe, just maybe, you'll understand enough to make peace with the end, whatever that may be. The men exchange glances. No alarms, no movements, just this moment. Finally, the second man nods once. Fine, talk. She settles into her chains as though they were cushions. I won't start where you think, not where I met them, not even when they first became allies. I'll begin with the night they first crossed paths, a moment they never spoke of to me until decades later. Her gaze lifts, distant and ancient. It began in Accra, near Jerusalem, in the waning days of the 12th century. All right.
Well, that was a hell of an intro. We
And
haven't,
we're going
even,
to flash over.
we haven't even started yet.
All right, we are going to flash over to a scene of a man leading a woman on a horse. Omar,
Yes.
I would like you to describe this man, who is in fact Bogdan.
Bogdan makes it the first character's appearance. Okay.
He does.
Bogdan is there's nothing really like super special about what he looks. No like definitive feature that stands out more so than others. He kind of not necessarily blends into the black background, but like facial structure, haircut, more or less clean shaven appearance. Maybe a little bit of a shadow. Um, his hair is kind of short, but it's fairly well maintained. Dark hair and eyes. What I think sets him apart, though, insofar as standing out in a crowd, is how well he's typically dressed. This is a man that, even in this current era, fashion means something. What a man wears is how he presents himself to the world. And this man, once upon a time, was pretty wicked, as some might say, with a sewing needle and a plan. He's dressed in not necessarily the finest of clothing, but certainly on the upper end. More rugged for road travel, but still amongst the finest of qualities and gear.
All right. The woman that you're leading on the horse, to us, we see a very attractive, probably early 20s woman with Mediterranean skin, which has been paled by her condition. She has long, sort of, yes,
Sorry.
long chestnut hair, brown eyes, and like Bogdan, she is dressed impeccably. Bogdan, this is your sire, Calathea of Thessalonica.
Oh, you're gonna okay. I got the Thessalonica because that's not an uncommon name, but the rest of that.
Calathea.
What is it?
I'll put it into the chat in Foundry so you can see it.
Thank you, sir. All right, Calathea. I'm gonna call her Callie. I'm gonna call her Callie. Bogdan would probably know better, and they probably have established what is okay and what is not okay. But I'm going to call her Callie.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I'm still spelling it wrong, but I know what it is. Okay.
Less than 100 years old. She shares, I guess, some passions with yours. First off, in life, she was a seamstress of great skill, and it was that brought her to the attention of her sire. Subsequently, your skills drew you to her as well. Less because she's probably the greater craftsman to you, but you had something that she lacked, and that was mercantile skill. You, as her retainer originally, helped turn her passion into an industry, helped find gold and silver for her for the things that she created, and your own creation skills have developed under her as well. Um, at some point, she decided that you were better off than being more than a ghoul, and so she actually embraced you and brought you into Clan Toreador, which is, I guess, your new home.
Yes.
You've been a vampire now for probably about 3 years, or canine, I should say, and she has brought you with her on this pilgrimage into the Holy Land. So she originally found you in what will in the future be called Serbia, or I think it's actually called the Kingdom of Serbia now. Brought you through the Bulgarian Empire, down to Constantinople, through the lands of the Turks, and down to the Holy Land, and you've now arrived in Accra, a city on the edge of the Mediterranean, and not more than about 100 miles north of the holy city of Jerusalem.
I actually thought it was a bit closer than that, but what do I know about Middle Eastern geography?
I think I've got the what is it?
Oh, you
I
do
think
have
it's
a little scale
about
thing
60
there.
miles. There you go.
Yeah.
Certainly a manageable distance, anyway.
Yeah, only a few days worth of riding.
Yeah. Obviously, this map is not perfectly the scale. I've just tried to give it a scale which is roughly accurate to determine distance between cities. So, she's leading you towards. So you're leading her horse towards a well, it looks like an old church, a Christian church here now. Of course, the Holy Land has seen all manner of conflict over recent years with not one, not two, but three crusades, all making their way into the Holy Land. The most recent one was only, well, less than 10 years ago, but all it really did was create stress around the relationship created by Richard I and the current Saladin of Jerusalem. So right now, the control of Jerusalem is shared between the Muslims and the Christians under the terms of this arrangement, and so pilgrims can come from either faction and pray in the city, see the holy sites that are important to their various religions. But that arrangement ends soon. It ends at the end of this year, and the expectation is that war will probably return to the Holy Land in not too long a period. And at the moment, there are simply more Muslims here than there are Christians, and so likely the Christians will have to fight for control once more. But your sire is using this as an opportunity to sort of see Jerusalem once more before it descends behind the shadow of war. And she's brought you along too, not only because, while you're still her childer, she's responsible for you, but because you've got the impression she has something in the works, and you're a part of it, and the plan starts tonight. She's been sending many letters with friends and allies across Europe, and you get the impression that you are heading towards some sort of meeting. All right, so she leads you to this church, or so you lead her on the horse to this church.
I feel like there's a few times throughout the evening, there's a look of me looking back up to her, be like, is this the right way? Because obviously I've never been this way before. So one is leading, but only because I happen to be in front of the horse.
I think yeah, she's giving you a crude hand drawn map. I mean, she's never been to Accra either.
Okay.
So yeah, so you're really going on the map that she has purchased about how to find your way. And Accra isn't a massive city. Certainly, I'd say smaller than Constantinople, smaller than Budapest. I guess where you're from near Zara. Zara would probably be an equivalent size city that would be one close to you, near Venice.
Sure.
It's still cosmopolitan, but it has that. The further you've come from Constantinople, the more Asian the construction and the buildings have become as you move to the land.
I feel like, and I would imagine that a lot of the architecture is starting to lean towards the Islamic influence.
That's right. Yeah. So, I mean, certainly the moment you hit Constantinople, that you sort of start to see like what are the onions on top of buildings called again? There's a name for them. I can't remember.
Oh God, it's right there in my head. Oubliette. Is that what you're talking about?
No.
That's like
no,
a tower.
No.
Damn it. That's gonna bug me. I'm gonna have to look that up when it's not my turn in the spotlight.
Yeah, that's
Sorry,
fine.
what was the question?
The onion-shaped roofs. What are those called?
Oh,
That's the question.
Yeah.
That we don't have an answer to.
There's actually a name for them. I can't remember what the proper name for them is. And I've just looked
I
up
don't know what
Wikipedia.
Hobson tried to type, but it got censored.
Yeah, it just says onion domes on there, but I know there is actually like an architectural name.
Yeah, there probably
them,
is.
but
I mean,
yeah,
we
anyway,
definitely see a lot of Islamic influenced architecture in this region for a number of reasons.
Yeah, well, I mean that's also Rus. Like the Rus made a heavy use of those as well. So,
Yeah.
But
And
in any case,
I think Bogdan is also looking at amongst all of the plans and the machinations and whatnot. I think there's a part of Bogdan that's like, if I could walk out of this town with a couple of pounds of silk from all over, like the things I could do with these silken robes, and because I mean, I don't know, like by the time we get down towards Accra, we're definitely seeing the not Muslim necessarily, but the Arabic
culture.
I want to say man dress, but there's an actual Arabic word. I want to say it's dishdasha, but I might be wrong. So I could have just described a dish for all I know. But the man dress basically, and so like Bogdan is like, oh, I wonder if there's something I could do for that back in Romania, or what will one day be Romania, and try to market that. He's looking for mercantile deals as well.
I think it's called the Thorb is the Arab long sleeve ankle length robe.
Okay. Yeah, he's definitely looking at the mercantile options as well.
So it's almost the new moon. So there isn't a lot of light. But up ahead, near the door to this old church, we see a man in the armor of a crusader. So why don't you go ahead, Jabber, and tell us what Dornan looks like?
Yeah. Dornan here has short brown hair. He has blue eyes. That like kind of sometimes go a bit lighter, a bit darker, depending on like how he's physically feeling, or was physically feeling rather. Ginger beard. His nose is like pretty bulbous and like is kind of red on the tip of it. He has like a little scar on his cheek, about an inch long. He's taller. He's pretty stout, like solid as well when you're looking at him. If he's in his armor right now, he's in Crusader armor. If he's not in his armor right now, he's in his like lesser noble, like not robes, but like the flowy kind of armor or clothing that they'd be wearing. He has a sword on his hip, a shield on his back. Yeah.
All right. And of course, Dornan, you're also here with your sire, although your sire is currently indoors. Your sire is. So I did put the artwork up. Did I have Calathea for the players before? Did I share the picture
For
your sire?
Sure.
No, we didn't see it.
Oh no, yeah. I'm sorry, I misunderstood the question. No, we saw the
okay.
characters, but nobody else.
Okay, so hopefully that's just popped up on your Foundry now. The picture.
No,
I don't see it.
All right. Oh, there we go. Try that now.
There, let me.
that works.
Okay.
And
that's
Calathea?
That's Calathea.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
But speaking of Bogdan's sire, your sire's name is Ekaterina, often known as Ekaterina the Wise. She is based in Prague. She is a bourgeois philosopher, not at all a soldier, although she has embraced many soldiers, and in many ways she seeks men who can carry the light of truth and defend it with their arms if necessary. And she seeks very much to educate the childer that she embraces. If anybody here has played Vampire the Masquerade Redemption, Ekaterina the Wise features quite heavily in that game as well. she wears a veil for her face beneath the veil is quite badly scarred and will no longer heal because these are injuries inflicted pre-embrace. Although she's still able to like her jaw still functions, she can still eat, for example, but she chooses to hide her injuries beneath the veil. She looks young. She's only like physically about 16 years old, but she is nearing now 120, and carries herself with a learned manner. She comes across as scholarly and as like a philosopher as well, and she has certainly sought Dornan to uplift you beyond just being a man of action to being a man of thought as well. And she's taking you on like a pro. I'm going to change him. She's obviously thought to herself.
Sounds good. I can change him.
I should not be
Yeah.
laughing so much at that.
So she's inside with the others, and she's told you to just watch out outside until the last person appears, and you now see this man and this woman appearing, the woman on horseback, the man leading the horse.
Thornan look over at the glare over at the man on the horse, and then just kind of wait to see what they say to him.
The woman sort of raises her hand as she gets close. Greetings. I am Calathea of Thessalonica, she says in German, since that's the agreed language we're all speaking.
My glare averts from the man leading the horse up to her, and it softens, and he bows. The greetings. It is nice to make your acquaintance, Thornman.
This is my Childa Brogdon.
And I think
Charlotte.
when she introduces him, he steps forward and he's got this obviously has no place in the 1200s of anywhere, but in the modern day, when a man steps forward with this smile on his face and he offers his hand, you get the feeling of this guy's about to try to sell me a 2004 Honda Accord.
Are you reaching to shake with both hands?
Not yet. But I'm
not
definitely
able.
reaching with that. I want to sell you something that you probably really don't need, but I'm going to convince you on how you want it.
He would take the. Are you short?
No, I'm about 5'8", 5'10". I forget exactly what I wrote.
Okay.
But yeah, like now, mind you, I'm not actually trying to sell something. He's just
No,
that's
I
how he
know.
presents, and so he just sticks his hand out. Hello, I am Bogdan.
Dorlan's around 6'3", 6'4". He looks down, glares at you again. Hello, and he goes in and then does the medieval handshake grasp.
Oh, we got the forearm
Really?
grip.
Yeah, really tightly and firmly,
Okay.
and pulls you in a little bit, and just holds you there and wait to see how that changes your reaction.
It doesn't. In fact, you see a flash in his eye that you normally don't see from most men, and he says, "Oh, I've always enjoyed a strong man."
Good.
You're gonna play that kind of character this campaign, huh?
I walk over to the horse and I offer my hand.
She takes your hand as you help her down.
Lead her down.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Have the others arrived yet?
Have the others arrived yet? Or have these the
yes.
first ones?
Yes, there are others inside you. You're side with others.
Some of the others have arrived. Have the other players? Are we also waiting on the other players? I'd imagine.
I'm going to say that one other player has arrived already. We're going to see the camera will see them for the first time when we go inside.
Okay.
So
James is directing as though this is a movie. I love it.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. Yes, most of the others have arrived. We're just waiting on the one or two more.
we all walk inside, and inside there are three other figures waiting. So one, of course, is Ekaterina, who is there, speaking quite animatedly with a very dark-haired woman of you would guess probably Spanish or Italian descent. shadows seem to cling to her, like they're her ally as such. No matter where she's in the room, the faint crescent moonlight from outside barely manages to reach her pallid skin. Um, this, of course, is Isabella. Isabella being the sire of Aiden, another person in the room. Aiden, why don't you go ahead and describe yourself?
Well, I have put my original picture up as my background here. There is a new picture if you want to put that up.
I
But
can put it on
basically,
the.
he is a androgynous, white-haired, blue and red-eyed, uh, like I said, androgynous male. Presents as male, dresses as male, but his hair is fairly long, reaches probably down about to his waist.
And I believe that the shadows also readily cling to Aiden.
Oh, yes.
Not only that, but the air around him seems to chill. So on a night like tonight, if there were mortals talking to him, they would probably find their breath misting, and a strange discomfort sort of grabbing them in this unusual presence.
I don't want to steal the spotlight, but with that chill, does that affect Bogdan? Does like his breath become visible as well?
What breath? You're dead.
Oh yes, I'm dead. I just appear as though I'm alive. I apologize. I will shut up now.
That's right. Look, I ran a vampire game many years ago where one of the players decided that had all the other players coming over, they were going to cook a giant dinner for everybody. So they went into all the detail about this massive this massive meal they made, and everyone's like, "We don't eat. We can't stomach food."
Listen, that one other time I did a face-to-face game, I had totally spaced the fact that nothing eaten or drank stays inside. And I was like, well, we're going to the bar. I might as well have a few drinks. Yeah, and you drink it all down, and then you promptly vomit it all up as a pile of ash. Good job.
Yeah. Which is, a lot of 19, 20, 20-year-olds experience with going drinking.
Yes, it is, actually.
Yes.
So appropriate. It's so apropos.
Anyway, to continue, he is wearing a hat that partially covers his ears, and it looks stylish for the time period. Same with the rest of his clothing. He pretty much looks like a noble.
And for your benefit, Aiden, so Isabella is she's a mystery to all but you. The two of you have bonded over many shared interests. She is a lover of knowledge, and in fact, her occult library is where you have had great opportunity to sort of study and memorize and peruse all sorts of tomes that you would never have had access to in your time before becoming a Cainite. She has taken you on as a student. She thoroughly supports the Road's belief that no knowledge should be withheld from those who walk the path of the abyss. And so she has been an open book to you. But to anybody else, she is a mystery wrapped in an enigma. Very little is known about her life before becoming a Cainite. Even where she hailed from, people can only sort of guess based upon the color of her pallid skin. But yeah, to you, she has become an ally and a confidant, someone who has brought you on this path and is now shepherding you along it until such time as you're ready to take your first solo steps as well. So as the group enters, both Ekaterina and Isabella look up and recognize Calathea, and they all approach, and they do that sort of haven't seen you in a long time, shake hands, hug, air kiss, while the three of you are sort of left to one side among yourselves while they clearly catch up on lost time that they've had years if not decades apart.
Is this my first time out, so to speak? since the embrace. And I mean, obviously, we've gone out to hunt, but as far as like any sort of like major social circumstance,
I think it's your first time leaving the town that her lair is in.
okay. I think in that case, then Bogdan is definitely continuing the used cars salesman vibes, but he's also positively upbeat, perhaps even a little excited. And so he steps towards Aiden. Says, I am Bogdan. It is a pleasure to meet you.
Guten Tag.
Ah, he switches immediately. Well, I think he was already speaking German because we're all from everywhere. But
Well, that's what the women were speaking in German. That was
yeah,
was
okay,
clearly their
all right, yeah.
common
In that case, I
tongue.
don't need to dwell on it. Uh, where do you hail?
Well, I am from many places, but originally from Spain.
The
Or I'm
idea.
sorry, I would say
Yeah.
originally from Castile.
Ah, Castile. I've never heard of it. I've heard of it, but I would love to get out there one day. I'm sure you have wonderful, wonderful fashion for me to check out and bring back to my home. I'm trying to keep the Russian at bay. It's coming in.
As long as you don't go Boris and Natasha, we're fine.
I understand that one.
Oh man.
Anyway, I am Aiden.
Aiden. You say Aiden or Aiden?
That's like my apologies.
Aiden.
I only read it
Aiden,
so
okay.
Aiden. Okay.
This will be good to know. I like to get people's names correct. The Russian is coming in thick now. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm trying to keep it Eastern European, but
You just keep going more east.
pretty soon it'll be so far east it'll be Asia.
Yeah. Oh, you'll end up back around in Alaska.
Yeah, really.
All right. The door opens once more and admits two more people. They both have a similar appearance, and they both have that sort of classic, pale, Swedish Baltic, blonde-haired, blue-eyed look. One is clearly slightly younger than the other, or at least physically slightly younger than the other. So one of these two, why don't you go ahead and describe Kara first off?
Kara is tall for a woman of this time. She's got sort of a darker blonde, and she's wearing a fairly well-worn blue tunic, and she's wearing as a men's style for traveling, and she's got her belts around her waist with her weapons on it. And she looks into the room unimpressed over her narrow nose.
And the woman that she arrives with, this is Idis Jarnsdottir, your sire, Kara. Also a Nordic-looking woman, although, as I said, a little bit older, a little more sort of matronly in her style. Her clothing is probably about 100 years out of date, or at least for Sweden it is. Slightly anachronistic, more of a sort of a so it's like a tunic over trousers as well, similar to Kara, and she looks like someone who will be comfortable with a sword, although by having an armed children with her or a child with her, she clearly doesn't need to arm herself. She has a very sort of I wouldn't say feral look, but certainly a look where she is sizing everybody and everything in the room up, as though there may be some sort of threat here or some sort of need to take action. And she looks like a wound spring, ready to sort of explode into action whether something were to go wrong. For you, Kara, Idis has been a fellow companion. She travels with you, or she has traveled. You've traveled with her. You've been probably a Cainite now for a number of years, but she really has no fixed abode, and so you have basically become her wandering companion, and her yours. She has continued to sort of explore the road that you both share. Has sort of brought you south out of the Nordics into Europe proper. She, over time, although she came from a soldier's beginning, she has started to become more and more interested in the politics of the Canaanites. And she has found that the Kingdom of Sweden, the Kingdom of Norway, the Canaanites there are they lack the political nuance that the Canaanites of Eastern Europe do, and so she has brought you down through Polsk and Kiev, looking for interesting places, not to settle, but to spend some time and learn about the way that other Canaanites function. Although often she seems quite, I guess, dismissive would be a word. When she sees what they're like, she sort of decides that her way is better, and you move on to the next place. But for whatever reason, these other women here, she has formed some kinship with during travels, and so she has brought you now to this meeting. She has no interest in Jerusalem for religious sake. Purely, this was a good opportunity to go to a new land and then meet with her friends over some sort of machination which she has not yet shared with you. But once she comes in the room, she goes straight to the others, and you're sort of left with these three men standing nearby, sort of kicking the dirt, looking awkward, waiting for something to happen.
I make a very, very obvious showing of looking each one up and down. Like I'm trying to decide which one I think I would need to kill first.
You would see Doran watch this, and as soon as you look at him and look up, if you make eye contact with him, you would see he's giving you a proud smile, okay, yeah, I think I could take you.
Bogdan. Wow, I don't know why I said Dornan. Bogdan will meet your gaze, give you a similar up-down look, but you will note that there's, I think what you see isn't a predatory appraisement. It's a sizing you up to see what I need to do to sell something to you. And he will also approach you with a nice, greasy car salesman smile and say, "Hello, I am Bogdan. Who are you?"
You speak in German?
Yes.
Kara sounds very uncomfortable with the language. In response, I am Kara Fraka's daughter.
It is wonderful to meet you, and I will intentionally slow it down so that you could pick it apart, because I feel like I want to pick up on the fact that you're either not fond of or not well versed in German, but also I think German and some of the Nordic languages are very similar in some ways, or there's some overlap. I could be wrong also.
That's pretty accurate.
Kara's just looking at you.
Doing that sort of blink thing, like I'm just processing what you said.
Yep. Bogdan is like, listen, it takes 10 no's to get a yes, and I'm gonna get my goddamn yes tonight. He's not letting you guys get him down. Also, not that anybody knows this, because we talked about demeanor and demeanor and nature or something like that.
Yes.
Outwardly he's absolutely all sorts of positive, and I want to meet everybody, and inwardly he's already sized all of you up based on how you respond.
Do you want something?
I would love to know the story of your attire. I loved your look. I wondered if I could bring it home and influence some of the changes in fashion that are bound to happen over time, as they always do.
It's practical.
Ooh. Listen, we're all dead. And I feel this every day. We're all dead inside. But I think there's a new light that just lights up in Bogdan's eyes. And he's already starts thinking of fashion lines around the word practical.
Across the room, you see Ekaterina holding up a letter. And for you, Dornan, because Ekaterina, when you arrived first, and not long after you arrived, a messenger arrived for Katerina carrying a letter, apparently from Jerusalem. She didn't discuss the contents with you. She read it and she held onto it, but it seems that she is now discussing the contents with the others. Yeah. And a moment later, they all four of them turn back to you. And it's Calathea, Bogdan's sire, that speaks up. Childa, we have a personal matter to discuss. We will step into the next room. The four of you should become acquainted. at least you'll be traveling together for a little while still. So you may want to get to know each other. We may have a task for you to complete very shortly. And they then take their note and they disappear into the next room, closing the door behind them.
Jordan awkwardly turns to the group and then reiterates, although I am the Jordan Ignacio, I am a warrior, soldier. Nice to meet you all.
You're wearing your Crusader stuff still?
Yeah.
And which crusade were you in?
The third.
The third, okay. The most recent one. The one that happened, what, like 10 years ago, I think James said?
About 10 years, yes.
Okay.
You
And that crusade did not reach the Holy Land, by the way.
No.
You were a warrior of the Christ?
Yes, that is correct.
Are you now?
I look over at you and just point. The heretics will be punished one way or another.
Interesting. I wonder what you think of our Muslim friends. And when he says friends, it's I want to imagine. I don't know what a neutral tone on that would sound like, and I don't know what it would look like if somebody was forcing themselves to sound neutral in that regard.
You say Muslim, he spits.
Yeah, yeah. I see. You're not a fan of the Muslim. Is there a particular reason? Is it simply your faith to your God?
I nod.
I can respect that.
That being said, the good warrior also deserves respect. So there are a few of the heretics I can stand. A few of the heretics I can share a drink with.
Sure. Surely there are heroes on both sides.
I don't remember saying heroes.
I did not catch that. I'm sorry.
I see. He said I don't remember saying heroes.
A
He
positive
is
spin.
a very dry man.
Yeah. I think honestly Bogdan's is kind of stunned for just a moment, and he quickly recovers, and he's so perhaps not heroic, but worthy of whatever it is they believe in for themselves. Agree to disagree, perhaps.
Yes.
I
I
clearly want to see
so
their
I
silks. They have some interesting fashion choices that I might be able to take advantage of.
Unless it can defend. Smashes his armor. It's very not much use. But my parents did instill the respect of the noble houses within me.
You certainly have my respect, I assure you of that. Mentally, he's like, absolutely do not.
You say that, and I think Kara looks confused for a second and says, "What has he done already to earn your respect?"
He has pledged himself to our God, has he not? That is not an easy task many would take, to lift arms against one's foes simply because of their gods or lack therein.
You must be easy to please.
I like to believe that I am, actually. Fair good drink, fair good food. Well, not that these are so important to us anymore.
In the top right corner, Kara disapproves.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Just as an aside, could I have everybody please roll 1d10? Your starting blood is going to be equal to your maximum minus 1d10. So in Foundry, you can either do /roll space 1d10 in chat, or below the chat box there's actually a little dice tray.
I
You just
see
click on the
those
d10
dice, yeah.
and you click on roll. Yeah. Okay, so
Oh, for
What did
It's
I
always
roll?
the
I
way.
rolled 4. I might want to go top off.
Yeah, well, you really kind of want to suck at rolling.
And let's see. So then we had Bogdan is down by 4. Would put you on to. No,
Oh,
you're
are you
actually you're all
okay?
still. I'm sorry. I'm saying it's the maximum minus that.
Oh, gotcha. So the X'd out boxes are the blood points that we still have.
That's right. Yeah, you remove them.
Okay,
And the same
got it.
same with willpower. You remove them as you spend them.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right. So nobody's desperately hungry. And if you're not using blood for combat, for example, you're only burning 1 blood point per night. So you've got a while before you have to worry about having to feed. You don't need to feed tonight, for example. None of you do. But-
does my herd offset that any?
Not where you are here right now. No. So because we're in a prologue here, when we go to the next, like the first chapter, your herd will be established where you are when we start the actual chapter of the game after the prologue.
Okay.
So your herd is not present right now, so that's not actually affecting it right now.
So like many game tutorials, we don't have all of our features unlocked yet.
Yeah, your allies, your contacts, they're all elsewhere right now. They're not appearing in this film.
I was gonna go with you must gather your party before venturing forth or something like that, but yeah, that works much better actually.
Yeah.
I think at some point Bogdan would like to, in a polite sort of way, separate himself from the other 3 and try to get a little bit closer to that room the others went into and use heightened senses to see if I can maybe pick up on what they're discussing, because of course I'm ever curious and want to know what's in store.
Yeah, sure.
I believe heightened senses is the way I read it. I don't actually need to make a roll unless there's
Yeah, you don't need to
sort of
roll.
thing.
I mean, I would say that without heightened senses, they're far enough away that you wouldn't get what they say. But I will let you make a roll with heightened, because of heightened senses, you can roll a perception and alertness roll. It's going to be a difficulty of 6.
Okay.
So on your sheet, you click on alertness. Click on the skill first.
Alertness.
And it will pop up with a box.
Yes.
And then just make sure you tick perception as the relevant attribute, and make sure the difficulty is 6.
Difficulty 6.
Then hit roll.
And then roll. And I don't get a bonus or anything from my auspex, do I?
No, the auspex here in this case is letting you make the roll.
Letting me make. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
I would also like to do the same thing, except
It's like
I'm not
2
moving
successes.
towards the door.
Okay, if you're doing it from across the room, it's going to be difficulty 8.
All right. Does attentive apply?
I'll say it does. Yeah, so you can tick the so if a specialization applies, you can tick it, and that way tens will be exploding.
Gordon would just look over at Kara like,
Like, what are these
do
morons
we have
doing?
do we have like a mutual like disapproving? Like, really?
I look like I'm just sitting there reading a book.
well, we can at least have the mutual disapproving of.
I guess the only one that actively does anything visibly different is Bogdan, who like takes a few steps away from you guys for a moment.
Yeah.
And a very not, he's probably pretending or hoping he appears to be nonchalant, but it's absolutely sticking out like a sore thumb that I'm like 3 steps away from you guys now.
Okay, so you're picking up snippets of the conversation. You hear references to Transylvania.
Okay.
You hear mentioning of some pass. Because it's a proper noun, it's hard to if you don't get the word right the first time, it's hard to say. Oh, it defaults to, but yeah, Solica or Celica or something like that pass. They're talking about. They're making some sort of plans right now, and with 2 successes, you both get the impression that these plans are about you. Like the 4 of you. They are collectively, as a group of 4 sires, making a combined plan regarding their 4 children.
Okay. Bet. Yeah, I think Bogdan will just kind of probably by this point realize that he's a little bit obvious that he's distanced himself a little bit and just like, I'm gonna go. I don't know. We're in a church, so I imagine there's a book or something around nearby. probably a Bible or something that I could just
Yeah, I mean, so
peruse.
this is a functioning church. It's not functioning right now because it's like
Middle of the
midnight.
night. Yeah.
Yeah, but certainly I would say there is an illuminated Bible on the platform
The
in
pulpit.
front of in the nave. Yep.
Probably
Yeah, actually,
written
yeah,
in
actually, yeah. I
Latin.
think Bogdan will
Yeah.
do that. I think he will go up to where oh my God, what is the Catholics or well, it's the pastor, the father, whoever's
The
giving
The
the sermon.
pulpit.
Yeah, I'll go up to the pulpit and just stand there, slowly flipping through the Bible, kind of haphazardly paying attention to the various passages.
I thought you were about to mock the priest while in front of a crusader.
I'm not. I want to be like I want to mock him a little
Please
bit.
do. I think it's gonna be funny.
I want.
This is
I
we're
think
meeting
like
each other, right? We
Yeah.
might as well just
Yeah.
do it hard.
yeah. Well, like well, the thing is like so. I don't picture Bogdan being an active Christian practitioner, but he's also not necessarily like down with
But
God
is he
and all
an
that.
active shitlord? Is the question.
Yeah. So I think there's a moment of like he kind of flips through a few pages, and then after a minute he just pantomimes various gestures into a non-existent crowd, and then he goes back, he flips, and he's almost making a point of like underscoring a passage, and then he goes back to pantomiming again.
Okay.
He's also doing
So-
this with a mirthy smirk on his face too, like
Okay.
Okay,
So
Cara
after
will
about-
smile for that.
Yeah. After about 15 minutes of you guys standing around awkwardly, the door reopens and the four sires emerge.
I slap the Bible closed.
It's dust shoots out from it too because it was like
Oh yeah,
obviously this priest has like one favored
yeah.
thing he starts every single sermon with this exact one, so the other pages or the top pages have let dust gather on them basically.
Yep.
So it's Katerina that speaks first. Children, we have received word from an ally of ours in Jerusalem, a Malkavian by the name of Adijai. He is preparing estates for us to stay in when we arrive in Jerusalem. However, they are not yet prepared. He has, however, asked an indulgence of us. An ally of his, a Malkavian priest by the name of Brother Bernardus, has discovered rumors of a infernalist cult operating within the holy city of Jerusalem.
So
we
is that
have
you? Sorry.
we have decided to this cannot be abided, and so in order to prepare for our arrival, we would like the four of you to travel ahead to Jerusalem, meet with this Bernardus, help him to resolve his issue, make sure that Adijai has our estates ready, and we will be along in a few nights' time. We have preparations to do for other matters. I know this will be the first time for any of you leaving the care of your sires, but this is something that all Canaanites must do. You will soon have to find your own way, your own paths. Dornan, I believe that you're ready for this, and my fellows believe each of you are ready as well.
I
So-
bow deeply.
Yeah, I think Bogdan is definitely gonna give a look to Althea and be like, and actually, no, he's just gonna give her a good look, and then kind of a solemn nod, and like, all right, it's time to party.
So remember
some
that you
infernals.
have not been formally released, which means that your actions still reflect upon your sires. So work together. Remember the laws of our kind. See what you can do in Jerusalem. We'll see you there soon. What I suggest you do is spend the rest of tonight familiarizing yourself with each other. Rest during the day, and then once dusk falls tomorrow evening, you should be able to make it to Jerusalem during the night. We will provide you with 2 of the horses. You can share 2 of the horses to make the journey easier. It's about 50 miles to the edge of Jerusalem. Bernardus will meet you in an abandoned church, apparently, it turns out. An actually abandoned church. So they give you like a very basic hand-drawn map of Jerusalem and its districts. So Jerusalem, of course, is a walled city, which has certain gates that you can enter the city from that are closed at various times, and then also gates within the city that separate the various districts from each other as well. And there is very much this is the Muslim half, this is the Christian half right now in the city as well. Although it's not to say that people can't go to the other side, it's just that the populations tend to settle to one or the other side of the wall, whose name escapes you right now at the moment.
Is the that you said there's a cult of infernalists in Jerusalem that need to be dealt with? Do we know even like what part of the city they're in, or is it kind of like we have to figure all that out once we get there?
But that's literally so. Brother Bernardos has all the details,
Okay.
And that's what he's the one that you're being told to go and see. I'm just quickly finding my map of. I haven't loaded the Foundry, but I can put the map of Jerusalem into the Discord chat because it might be useful to you in coming times. So continue talking while I get this sorted out.
Sure. There is a new charge of excitement riddling around Bogdan. He's now, in a way, he kind of feels like he's been given permission to go sell cars in a competitor's area. I'm using modern terminology, obviously, but this is like the sort of excitement he's got. He's like, ooh, I'm going to go stick it to them. And he just looks at the three of you. He's like, infernalists. I think we know what that word means, but perhaps we are not all on the same page. What does infernalist mean to you?
It's a cult. They
Devil
want them dead.
worshippers, I would imagine.
It doesn't matter.
Gordon just gives you a look. And then he grips his sword and nods.
Aiden doesn't say anything.
Again, in Discord there is a
He just
Ooh.
kind of glances up, looks at you, and goes back to his book.
Not very talkative.
I'm just gonna point right at Dornan, like this sudden aggressive finger point directly at him. You and I will ride a horse.
Well, that works.
That's oh my god. I don't even know if Bogdan was gonna pick up on that, but I caught her like, fuck that guy. I don't want him anywhere near me. Which as his player is amazing.
Nod.
For the record, I have my own horse.
Well, I guess I'll be riding. I guess in that case.
Oh, no, sorry. It's an abandoned house, not an abandoned church. Abandoned house on the outskirts. So on the not within the walls of Jerusalem, but in like the sort of expanse of Jerusalem, which lies outside the walls, which is basically where like the local populace lives mostly.
Right. I think Bogdan is gonna look at Kara when she says that. It just smirks like, very well then. I see you like to draw your lines early and often.
Would you prefer lines later?
I'm
don't
indifferent. I
understand.
just wanted to point it out. It's amusing that you have already drawn your lines. It's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine.
I want to look at the hand-drawn map so I can figure out like where we're going.
You're trying to get away from Bogdan.
So the
The
part
more-
of Jerusalem.
The higher Bogdan's energy gets, the lower Kara's gets.
The part of Jerusalem that your this house is in the outside on the wall between the New Gate and the Damascus Gate, near the Christian Quarter.
Okay. So literally up in that area where it says one, well, not one end, but yeah, I got you.
Yeah, north. Yeah, where the north pointer is. Yeah.
Literally, as I started to say, I was like, that's not what that means. That means north is that way. Dumbass. I think actually, as Kara is looking over the map, you'll feel Bogdan's presence. Perhaps a bit too closely as he's looking literally over your shoulder at this map as well. He doesn't say anything. I'll be nice. He doesn't say anything. He's just like, interesting, Christian, Armenian. Like, he's mumbling to himself.
If you want to make me uncomfortable, do not touch me.
So I
And,
should touch you,
and
or I
there's
should
totally,
not touch you?
and it's super obvious. Like, I have just been learning German. You're pretty sure that's not what I mean.
Yeah, I feel like you're like, yeah, you've definitely got that negative word at the wrong spot in the sentence structure. He's just like, I mean, no offense. I apologize as needed. You know? And he kind of steps slightly off to one side. He's not moved. I mean, listen, he's moved about that much further away from you. He's still kind of close. He's trying to get a good look at the map.
When I'm finished looking at it, I'll hand it to you and then walk away from you.
I think Bob is just like, okay. He just looks over at the other two. I think you said something about a horse, Aiden? You have a horse of your own?
Yes, I have a horse of my own.
Excellent. If they're giving us 2 horses and those 2 are riding one, that means I get my own horse. I like this deal. I like this arrangement.
Perhaps the horse will impress you and you will tell it so.
I very well might. It's not a bad thing to talk to your horse. Now, I don't even know what my character sheet says for animal handling or whatever the appropriate skill in this game is.
Animal Ken.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna be like, yeah, just like, you know, listen, when it comes to horses, I'm about as good as I am with cars. You put gas in, it goes. You feed the horse, it goes.
You put a
what is-
feedback on and it just goes
Yeah,
places.
I've literally got 1 dot in Animal Ken, so I think it's actually pretty accurate for what Bogdan understands of animals. He's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna, yeah. I know if I brush the horse.
Also,
and feed
I
it-
think that Iden would have a hard time with a horse, given he's got no animal ken and Harbinger of the Abyss.
Ooh, is that the one that makes everybody creepy feely?
The one I personally ride, I will ghoul.
Okay, no worries, cool.
You
That'll
ghouled the
be your
horse,
retainer then,
amazing.
because you've got 1 point in retainer. A ghoul is 1 point of retainer. You can change it to a person later on, but for now we can say your horse is ghouled.
Okay.
Oh, that means you've got the smoothest ride out of all of us, actually. That horse is gonna do everything it can to keep you going.
No, it just means his horse is addicted to blood.
Well, yes, that.
It probably it's probably picked up some of his countenance too. So his horse is probably like, you know, is always in shadow as well, and you know, always
Shadows
has
cling.
sort of,
Shadows
yeah.
are nearby whispering to it,
Yeah.
and the horse is
Has a
like
creepy
whispering
look to it.
back.
That shouldn't apply for a new ghoul.
No, it's just because you're so that way. That's right. All right. So, unless there's any particular conversation you guys want to do, we can assume that the rest of the night you sort of just wait for the night to pass. If you want to, you can go out hunting in Acre to try and get more blood. Otherwise, you can just wait until the following night when you leave for Jerusalem.
The blood pool diminishing, we don't really feel necessarily anything about being hungry or whatever unless we start getting down to like
4 points or lower is considered hunger.
Okay, so like right now I'm probably like not terribly concerned. The only other conversation I might have, and honestly, if Dornan says something like no, then the conversation is pretty much done. But it's basically like, Dornan, you were a crusader. Did you happen to visit? Have you been to Jerusalem? Is there anything you could tell us of what we might expect there?
Kara leaves. Kara's gonna go hunting. Does not care about your conversation. Just doesn't want to be in a church anymore.
Just doesn't want to be in a church. Doesn't want to be in a church with me.
Iden stands up, shuts his book, and walks out.
Love this
I will
energy.
also go hunting.
I love this. Bobby can clear a fucking room. I've got this great horse to sell you. You can add so many oats in this thing.
I feel like he would just tell you to watch out for the Muslims.
Okay.
And like go and sit in a pew quietly, close his eyes.
If anybody wants to do their own thing, this is fine. I wonder where that map went. We can take a look at this map. And that will be the scene transition. It's Bogdan staring at the map.
Okay. All right. So
Yes.
yeah. So I was going to say, just by the way, the film Kingdom of Heaven was set in the Third Crusade.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yes.
So some of the
So
some
Paladin-
crusades did certainly.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, not that the movie is a great representation of history, but Saladin.
Yep.
Fun movie though. Great
It
movie.
was a really good movie.
Hopefully, Alex watches the freaking stream. Otherwise, we're about to have another watch through of that.
All right, so let me get my system for hunting, which is distinct in Dark Ages as opposed to it's been a little while since I've run the this system in this style, so I'll just familiarize myself with the contents.
James, you realize, of course, that we expect you to be a master of everything.
Look, the problem is that I've run every edition that this game has, and sometimes it's remembering which system applies to.
No, I hear you. I've had similar issues in the past with various things. It's just like, hold on, which one is this? Oh, it's this one. So okay, yeah, we gotta do that.
Going to be a index search. At least it's got a good index. Okay, hunting. So, it is your choice of okay, you can choose the ability and attribute you use to hunt, but you've got to describe why it's the case. So, for example, appearance plus subterfuge might be trying to lure somebody with, the promise of an intimate encounter. Wits and streetwise might be trying to like pursue someone into a dark alley sort of thing. Yeah, you need to decide what set you want to do and how you're going to do it.
I will definitely be using my appearance.
Okay. Then pick a skill as well that you think fits with that. And I will tell you that the difficulty for the area in Accra will be difficulty 6.
Okay. Subterfuge is fine. I'll go to a tavern.
Yep.
Or an inn. Whichever one is closer.
Right,
I'll
make
be
that roll.
AFK just for a moment.
Okay. And sorry, you were hunting 2 as well, Kane?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're hungry when you have 7 minus your self-control or instinct in blood.
You said the difficulty was what? 7?
6.
Yeah.
I will also be right back. I gotta refill water.
Does exotic looks apply?
I don't think so in this case, no. It's because it's more of an extended test.
All right.
Okay. One success. So you find a victim. You may take. How much blood do you want? So you can take up to 7 points and leave that person alive, or up to 10 points and they're dead.
I'll just take 4. I don't want them to die.
No. Are you making a roll, Kane?
Okay. I would like to go for a perception and stealth.
Yep.
I'm trying to skulk around. I'm searching for somebody that is either proselytizing or somebody that I think would proselytize.
Okay, so you're looking for a specific class of person, are you? Okay.
Yeah,
So that'll make it difficulty 7 then in this case.
Okay. Difficulty 7. And sure.
Yes. Okay. You easily find somebody. So yeah. Then you may and you spent willpower on that, did you?
I wasn't rolling a lot of dice. It was a 7. I wanted to make sure I got somebody.
Okay. No worries. So just make sure you mark a willpower off. But yeah, you can fill up to 3. You fill up your 3 missing blood with no problem. That person will be perfectly fine.
I kind of don't want them to be perfectly fine.
Okay.
Or missing blood.
You gonna take the excess anyway and spit it out, or just
yeah.
kill them anyway?
Yeah, I'll. It's
Okay.
just gonna look like an absolute disaster in the morning.
Yep.
Wow.
Okay.
I have vengeful against missionaries.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Does so without having your road in front of me, does that there's no issues there with your road score? There's no
He's
sins in that in respect to
not
that?
not of my faith.
Okay, cool, no worries.
Mm.
All right, so you rest overnight. So everybody mark off one blood now because you've rested. You rested during the day, I should say. Sorry. And in at dusk, you all rise and find your way to these horses. And so we've got Kara and Dornan on one horse, Aiden on his gould horse, Aiden his gould horse, and Bogdan on the other horse from the sires. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, no worries. And you begin the journey south. Now, because you're leaving at dusk, there are other people who are also leaving Accra to head to Jerusalem. And there is active pilgrimages going on at the moment because of the fact that the truce is about to end. And so, you will be traveling with other. I mean, you can always separate from the group as well, but there is a concept of safety in numbers. That you're with a caravan of people heading south to Jerusalem that sort of goes through most of the night. Most people will sort of stop leaving after about midnight, but the group that you leave with at about say 6:30 p.m., 7 p.m., you'll be fine to continue with. And so you head that way. It takes 60 miles on horseback. It's probably a good sort of 7 or 8 hours, I would think. I don't know the trotting speed of a horse. I know a person runs about 5 miles an hour.
I think
But
I don't know. The rule of thumb I always use was, I mean, horses don't normally travel a lot faster than people do unless you're pushing them. Unless I'm crazy. Well, I mean, unless I'm wrong. Let's be clear. I am crazy, but uh, I know a lot of RPGs tend to give horses something like a 20 or 25 mile range a day. I think. I may be misremembering a lot of numbers because again, various systems and shitty memory.
all right, so a typical 60-mile horseback ride would take between 6 and 12 hours, depending on the horse's fitness, terrain, and pace. So let's split the middle and say it basically takes about 10 hours.
Don't act like I've never been wrong
Yeah.
before, guys.
Yeah, and that covers a steady trot and canter with breaks. So so that would then put you about 5 a.m. Into the edge of Jerusalem, and dawn will come probably about 6:30. So
Not much time.
you have
for
nowhere
us
else to stay, so you may as well head straight to the meeting, and hopefully they've got somewhere you can stay as well.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Unless you basically just evict some people from a house and hope that it's secure during the day.
No, I mean, Bogdan will definitely make suggestion that perhaps making for that abandoned house we're supposed to meet Bernardus at, whatever his name was, probably our best bet. Did we get the implication that this guy is mortal, or if he was embraced as well?
They said he was a Malkavian.
That Bernardus is, or
Yeah.
okay. So that in that case, I think Bogdan will definitely point out that since our point of contact is another kindred, this house is probably safe for us to rest during the day.
We'll see.
I did say probably.
And we
Wait, where?
will
I'm
see.
sorry. Where are we at?
We're just outside Jerusalem, headed. I imagine we're heading to the abandoned house that we're going to meet old boy at.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
All right.
So good.
So as you the building itself stands at the intersection of three streets. It's in quite an old part of the city near the wall as well. Most of these buildings were once sort of like whitewashed and clean, but now they're crumbling. Their plaster sort of cracking away. There are people still moving about, but because it's almost the new moon, it's quite dark, and so a lot of people have started to limit their nighttime activities. Although it is coming, it'll be morning within about an hour and a half. So some early risers are starting to be up. There are lamp lights burning in the streets though as well to provide some light. as you approach the building that you've been given the map to, you see a young man, slender, sort of a little bit nervous looking, standing in the doorway of this particular shelter. He's dressed in like a monk's robes, the sort of grey Hessian style robes of a monk, but he doesn't have the tonsure shaved head. I actually have a picture for the people on the group. So that man, and based upon a casual glance, you would say that he is human, not canine. He has a lively color of skin.
I'm going.
And apparently bags under his eyes.
Yeah. Well, he's been up all night.
Yeah, Bogdan will approach him eagerly, perhaps.
Right. I think that he's one of those people like as you walk up to him, you startle him, even though you're like walking straight to him in the
Yeah,
street.
it's clear that I'm coming. Yeah, there's no subtlety here.
He's still like, oh.
And I will dismount, and I will come up, and I'll have my greasy smile on, and I'm Bogdan. It is nice to meet you. With whom am I speaking?
Oh, yes, sorry. I'm Brother Timothy. I am one of the assistants of your host. He is inside. If are you all here? Did you want to come in, and I will I'll introduce you to Brother Bernardus.
Please. And then you could see to the horses, I imagine. Yes.
Yes, of course. I'll make sure they're attended to. Please, my lords, please come inside.
Very good. And I will obviously motion or some other form of indicator to the rest of the party that, not that I know anything, and I'm not certainly not the one in charge, but I'm going to be like, right this way, please.
I dismount and head inside.
Yes, that's right. Walk right by me and don't even give me a head nod or nothing.
That's correct.
I knew it.
You make your sweeping gesture, and Dornan can hear Kara growling before getting off the horse.
There's you hear a little chuckle from Dornan, like a puff, and then he gets off. He looks over. He's like, "Brother." He nods to Timothy, and then he looks over at Bogdan, and it just goes back to the glare.
Wow, a Gib slap. Somebody's watched NCIS. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead, James.
All right. He leads you inside into. It's a multi-room house, and he takes you into what would be the central living area, which is completely bereft of furniture, save for a single chair in the middle of the room, upon which sits a portly monk, Cainite, you would say by his pallor. He's sort of he's not nervously. He's just sort of. It's like a constant reaction someone does, like a nervous tick, but he's not nervous. He's just constantly wringing his fingers, changing, interlacing them, opening them again. Just he's got this sort of constant tick habit going on. And the young man with you says, Brother Bernardus, these are your guests, and he pulls a little piece of paper out. I have Aiden Nightshade, Bogdan. Yes. Dornan Ignacio and Kara Fracas Dodder. Is that right? Sorry, yes.
Nod.
And
myself.
The priest looks up. Ah, yes, so good of you to come, so good. And I'll say this guy has a British accent. He's speaking in German right now, but his accent is definitely British. Probably something that Aiden, who studied English, would recognise. So yes, please pull up a chair, make yourselves at home.
I actually had to take British English off my sheet because of the reduction in intelligence.
Oh no, okay, yeah, all right, well, he indicates to the room completely bereft of other chairs.
Yes, I think Bogdan actually makes a motion of looking around.
Dear friends, it's good that you've come here. I'm so pleased that you came to see me. I realize that your journey was long. You are very tired, but it is of utmost importance that I speak to you immediately. My name, as young Timothy has indicated, is Brother Bernardus. I am a friend to a friend of your patrons, and my friend Adijai has offered has offered your services to help me deal with a most serious matter. You see, some time ago, a group of strangers came into this holy city, claiming to be students of faith. Now, it was only a short time ago that we, as in my brothers and I, in the city, we discovered their true nature, and by then it was too late. They had sunk their claws into this fine city. Worse, they watch us. They know my comings and goings, these infernal servants. They spy upon me from sundown to sunup. You would not believe the things I've had to do to even arrange this meeting in secret away from them. They're infernalists, you see, beasts of Satan, the destroyers of our kind. Even now they practice their foul arts on a Canaanite sister, performing acts that would make your very souls start in rage. Oh, you simply must help us, or this entire city will soon be wrapped in flame, and the beast will take us all.
And how have you determined that these are infernalists?
There, as you're asking the question, there's like not even a hesitation from Gordon. He just goes, "I did come here to save the Holy Land."
When Iden asks me, he points at Iden like, you've just said something incredibly astute. My people, Timothy and Paul have both have watched them from afar as they perform their foul rituals. And what's more, things have started to happen in Jerusalem that lead us to believe that the holiness of the city has begun to become profane. Accounts of raids on holy sites, evidence of infernal rites performed outside the city gate, a plague of flies in certain quarters of the city. I've documented it. I have documents here that outline the various things that show that the agents of these agents of the devil have brought foulness to the city, things that correspond with the time of their arrival. What's more, they are known to be diabolists. They destroy our kind and steal their power for themselves. They commit the great sin of Amaranth, a sin against Cain and against God.
May I see these documents?
Yes, of course. He furnishes you with like a bunch of scrawled, handwritten notes, hand-drawn pictures. I
go over them very carefully.
Yeah, I imagine you're also a fast reader, so I will give you the gist that an easy glance tells you that these are all descriptions of incidents that point to infernal activity happening within Jerusalem. And based upon what you know, I'll tell you what, why don't you make an intelligence occult roll, since you have a ridiculous intelligence occult? Let's see, you can throw a shitload of dice at the table.
While he was talking, and, like describing everything that he's been witnessing and seeing, you guys would have heard Gordon shift and all of his armor clink and move as he's getting progressively more and more enraged at what he feels is the desecration of this land. And if you're watching, you can see him grit his teeth. He grips his sword at one point. He's rearing. He's ready.
I think Bogdan, when Dornan draws his sword, Bogdan's just like, easy. There are none of these people here.
He doesn't draw it. He just grips the handle.
Okay,
of it.
my bad.
Ready to go. No, you're good.
Sorry, Darius, you had a question?
Does analytical apply?
Yes, it will, and it'll be difficulty 6. If ever I don't say difficulty, assume I mean 6.
Those are pretty lime green dice.
Yep. Okay. So, definitely, you would say that these acts are definitely evidence of something infernal happening in the city, like infernal rituals, for example. And they're not necessarily. So some of them they found literally the remains of the ritual after it's been performed. Some of them are flow-on effects you have from the use of fiendish magic that then has like led to things like food rotting, clouds of flies and locusts and other sort of biblical things. You're confident that if all this stuff is accurate, infernalism is going on. The only sort of connection to the people that Bernardus is talking about in this particular case is the time, like that they arrived, and that these things started at a similar time. On top of that, there are reports here about vampires that Bernardus believes that these people have taken for diablerie. And they probably by this, it looks like they've probably committed 2 acts of amaranth so far, like two diableries, since arriving in Jerusalem.
All right. I will hand the papers back after perusing them.
So
This definitely looks like a bunch of infernal diablers.
Were there more questions? Can I answer any more questions?
I think there's a look on Bogdan's face where initially and throughout a lot of what this guy's been saying, he's kind of, I guess, indifferent. But then when Aiden returns the documents and says that, basically validating everything, at least in Bogdan's mind, there's a certain resolve starting to set on his face, and he says, "Perhaps we should rest and discuss further when we arouse again and determine how best to approach this situation." Yes?
Yes. Timothy, please prepare our chambers. And you hear the boy leaves, and a moment later you hear like the sound of floorboards being pulled up in another room.
And have refreshments been provided?
I'm looking at. When you say that, and Bogdan just darts his eyes straight at Timothy and says, "I do believe. God damn it! I do believe there are." Oh my God! You know what he's trying to say. I just can't find the right accent. Bogdan is gonna make a pass at this dude, definitely.
About Timothy, the young boy?
Yes.
Okay. Well, he's in the next room right now, but
obviously he wants.
In the answer to the question about refreshments, there is no blood has been provided here. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think in that case.
So, Paul will keep an eye on us. So I have a chamber beneath this house in which it's safe to rest for all of us. Paul will keep an eye on us here. Timothy will watch the infernalists to make sure he knows where to take you, where they are, so he can take you to them when you arise in the evening.
Now, James, am I getting any sort of vibes of Timothy being like a ghoul or anything like that? Is he? Would he be considered off limits? Would I be getting that information somehow?
Okay, so there's no way without Auspex to tell if he's a ghoul or not.
Okay.
There's no outward appearance change.
Right.
If he is a ghoul, you wouldn't want to feed from him, because if he has some of Bernardus' blood in him, and you get that blood, then you effectively would form one step towards a blood bond towards Bernardus.
Okay.
Also, the fact that like this kid clearly has not slept in a while, and is being asked to stay up all day, and also, you don't want to take the blood out of him where he's going to fall asleep from just needing a sandwich.
I might not wake up. It'd be like taking sleepy time tea right when I first wake up in the morning.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think in that case, Bogdan's just gonna be like, well, I was going to try to have some fun with him, but I guess I'll save that for another time.
I'm ready to see what our guest quarters look like.
Literally a hole in the ground underneath the house.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much that's what it is. They have dug a space, probably about 6 foot square. So you're just gonna be like lying down like a row of 5 people, the 4 of you plus Bernardus. Not
gonna get real cozy down here real quick, boys.
No, I will take a lotus position and go to sleep that way.
Okay.
I'll just throw myself down in the dirt. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I think Bogdan will.
They put wooden boards down at least, so you're sleeping on wooden boards.
Oh yeah, Bogdan will definitely. He will take his travel cloak, roll it up to be used as a pillow, and take another robe or something and use that as a makeshift blanket to lay on, and then like pull out some third blanket, not blanket, a third robe, and use that to cover himself with.
Dornan will sit down on a chair, and then like with his arms crossed.
Well, there's only one chair in the entire house.
Yeah, and it's
So
upstairs.
Okay, so he
there is
will.
no,
he
there
will
is absolutely no furniture in the entire rest of the house.
Okay, he will sit down on the ground and then do the classic like dad falling asleep with his like arms crossed.
He just leaned
like,
up against the wall.
head down. Yeah.
There is one other man in the house that you do see as well. The person you referred to as Paul. Paul is another priest-looking, monk-looking guy who's a bit larger and older than Timothy. Looks like he can probably handle his way in a fight and has multiple scars on his face from, a life more interesting than being a monk.
I think Bogdan, when he sees him, he's definitely he has that kind of look. I don't know if that sound actually picked up on the mic or not, but I think y'all know what he's talking about.
But yeah, it's late, so it doesn't take long for you to fall asleep when the sun rises.
No sleepy time blood tea.
No, but you can all remove 1 blood point if you sleep overnight. And Kara, you can recover your willpower you spent.
Okay.
Well, that was the previous one anyway, so. All right. In the evening, you arise along with Bernardus. Timothy and Paul are already waiting for you upstairs. Bernardus, Timothy, are you aware of where the Infernalists are? Yes. They took the nurse to a stable, about a half an hour walk away. I can lead these Canaanites to the stable. The Infernalists are within with their captive. Bernardus looks at you. Well,
How many Infernalists are
You're
there,
back.
young Timothy?
3,
Three.
sir.
Are they?
Can I roll some sort of bullshit check?
You want to roll
Yeah.
insight?
I would like to roll insight.
Yeah,
I'm
but,
not sure what that
so
is in
are
this
you,
game,
Are you
but-
inciting Timothy or Bernardus?
Timothy.
Timothy. Okay. Perception and empathy. Difficulty 6.
That's a couple of botches. Or wait, how's that work in this game? I forget.
It is a botch.
So yeah, botch. So a botch is when you have at least 1 and no successes.
Gotcha.
And I will do.
So you.
Well, we'll see. Give it a minute. He'll tell us what this botch means.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't there? Can you spend willpower to re-roll that?
You can spend willpower to add 1 success after the fact,
Okay.
which would take it from a botch into just a fail.
Okay.
I want to see how this botch goes. This could be fun.
Let me see
Absolutely.
if I set this up as easy. So I'm just gonna do a roll. Don't worry about what the roll is. I just want to see if it actually comes up with the way it should do. So I'm gonna make it blind.
So that split up for us is private, but that's fine.
So what do you guys see on the screen there?
Private, and it
Question
looks like
marks.
there's two. It looks like there's either 2 or 4
Okay.
rolls.
Always see your question marks for your dice.
If you're
Okay,
watching the
cool.
stream, you'll
So-
see what it looks like.
Okay, cool. But so that's good because I normally it's within the sheet, but in this program it's actually in the chat box where I changed to private. Okay, cool. So yeah, you honestly, this kid is he, as far as you can tell, he believes what he's saying.
Okay.
I think Bogdan looks over at Kara and just he does the Vulcan eyebrow, but doesn't really know what else to do. Doesn't know what else to think. As far as he knows, there's 3 Infernalists, and then Bogdan asks this of Timothy and Bernardus. There are 3 Infernalists. Do they have support of any kind, a following kind that might do things for them, perhaps?
I have seen them with a human, like a non-canite man, like I guess a guard. Maybe he looks after them when they sleep. He's sometimes with them.
Might not be a bad person to seek before we confront the Infernals directly, yeah?
I mean, anytime I've seen him, he's usually with them.
So he's normally not by himself then.
Not that I've really seen, other than when they sleep.
Yes, and if they are sleeping, so are we, so yes. And there's a smirk, and there's the obvious ... at the end of that sentence. So with that, perhaps you take us to that, Min. We can better ascertain for ourselves how best to proceed.
Yes, yes.
And then I look at the others. I look at the others, and I'm not necessarily feeling famished per se, but I'm definitely starting to feel something. Like, I could eat.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm always down for a burger or a beer.
I'm down for a person beer, you know.
Yeah. Some blood beer. And I'm gonna look at what was the name of the guy that was watching? Paul?
Paul, yeah.
How tired does he appear to be?
He's
He's been up all day watching us and everything, but
yeah, he's probably going to go to sleep now, to be honest, because now that Bernard's stuff about.
wondering. I want to feed on him, and I want to do it in a way that we could be a little bit more intimate than just feeding. But obviously, vampires don't get all that. But Bogdan is obviously curious about this individual.
Hey, you could spend a blood point to Blush of Life and
I don't
have some
have
fun.
to spend a blood point to Blush of Life.
Well,
Well, I take it back. I have. Is that what I have? Do I have that?
you've got the one.
I
you've got the one
appear
that makes
outwardly.
you- yeah, outwardly, but you don't have functions of stuff. And
Okay,
you're still
gotcha.
local.
So yeah, I would have to spend the blood point, but yeah, I definitely want to get some one-on-one time with this guy, but I don't want to be like socially inappropriate at the moment. I feel like that would be bad form to just lean over and just bite into him.
I mean, so right now, the implication is that Timothy knows where the Infernalists are at the moment, and, you know,
Yeah.
I think Bernardus is sort of like pushing the whole, now is the time
Yeah,
before
yeah,
we
yeah.
lose them again, sort of thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Like the person that knows where they are is here. If they move, then we've lost them in the wind again. So.
Yeah. So yeah, I think in that case, yeah, Bogdan's like, yeah, if you guys are ready, perhaps now is the best time. And he looks over at Bernardus and he's like, yes, we get it. He doesn't say that, but the look on his face conveys all that.
Yeah.
As I reach for what I assume I must have some sort of travel pack that probably has at least a rudimentary blade weapon in it. If not an outright sword.
Yeah,
Not
so I
that
mean, who do we think would? I can add swords to people that we think would have swords. So I certainly think that Dornan would definitely have a
Dornan
sword.
definitely. I think doesn't Kara have a couple of blades or axes or something?
Yeah, I have a sword and a hand axe and probably a dagger in my shield.
So remember, for a standard sword, you need a strength of 3 or higher to wield it effectively.
Well, I'm
Mhm.
definitely limited to a dagger.
Well,
Maybe a small rapier.
That shouldn't the 3 strength requirement shouldn't be an issue for me.
Especially because you can also spend blood to increase your physical characteristics.
Yeah. I think, and honestly, I think Bogdan, not being a very martial-oriented type person, probably has a dagger in the same way that a lot of people have a pocket knife. I have a knife for cheesecake and throats. I'd much rather use it on cheesecake than...
You've got your letter opener.
Yeah, I have a letter opener that does have a wicked edge on it.
Well, in this era, knives are usually used for eating.
Yeah.
So most people have an eating dagger.
Yeah.
And then
Well, I have
whatever
2 of
else
those in
you
my
have.
mouth, so... Sorry, that was a really bad joke.
to blend in with society, you probably have an eating dagger on your belt.
Yes.
So,
I personally have a rapier at my side, an eating dagger, and 2 stakes.
did everyone here play the Dragon Age series of video games?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, so they have something in them called the murder dagger. The murder dagger is a prop in the game's programming where, for some reason, a cutscene requires the character to use a weapon, but the player hasn't equipped one. Then the person will pull a dagger out of their belt, whatever, you know, and so it's the default item called the murder dagger, which is used for stabbing
Is that
in cutscenes.
that
Yeah.
early cutscene when you're coming back and it's like, can't remember his name, but you're with the Grey Wardens, I think. and it's like the guy's like trying to run away from them. You just like stab them.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's a default mechanic in the game to always give the player a weapon that they can then use to.
They simplified the coding, so that's why like when you have cutscenes, you're like, I'm not wearing that outfit. I'm wearing something totally different. Doing Awakening, I am absolutely looking at you because I'm not wearing scavenger bullshit when I inhale the spice. God damn it. Anyway, sorry. And then of course there's the flip side where you're running around with a banana suit. And that's exactly what you look like in the cutscene. There's somebody did a short on that on YouTube. I can't remember who it was. But yeah, I imagine I have at least a dagger of some sort that I could slap people around with. Even though, again, I'm not a very martially oriented character.
So let me just
Figure it. I mean, worst case, I can always just throw a Dornan or an Iden. Maybe even a Kara. If I need to get into the fight, we got problems.
I just imagine you said that, and I just imagined a medieval style Pokeball.
I'm just picturing just like, listen, I am the vampire version of a mage of a sort without actual magic. So I'm like, if I'm the one that has to fight, we've got problems.
Just imagining like stained glass style art on the Pokeball.
We got Bogdan asking Dornan to go fight. We got Dornan.
Yeah. Oh man.
Right. So yeah, so actually a broadsword, you can use it with 2 strength if it's two-handed.
Oh, I have 4 strength.
I do not. I'm not gonna tell you what I have, but you can look at my character sheet, I'm sure.
I'm going to say as well, Dawn, that your armor counts as composite armor. So armor rating of 3, penalty of 1. All right. So you follow Timothy out into the streets.
Yes, that's right. Timmy, lead us on. Little Timmy. Sorry.
So this is like, once again, you're talking sort of like 7:30 at night. So the city is still pretty alive with stuff going on. You know, pilgrims coming through. There is a tension in the air once again because, you know, it is the upcoming end of this trip, but also I think that the new moon always puts people on edge a bit in Jerusalem, and it is the new moon tonight, or the start of the 3 days of the new moon. And Timothy leads you only about a half-hour walk away to what appears to be an old stables, not currently in use, although there are torches set outside. Let's do this. Let's go and activate here, and I will put on your people. Timothy sort of points. This is the place over here.
Really wish the character sheets could be shrunk down more. Well, I guess I could pop it out and minimize it.
You can shrink it down more.
I
Look at the lower right-hand corner.
It only goes so far.
What I do is just double click on the very top of the character sheet to
Yeah, I should have done that too.
Make it
I
bigger
forgot
and
about that
smaller.
from Foundry. Because I do that all the time when we were playing that other game we do on Foundry, Alien. That's
So,
many
yeah.
double tapped.
It's a freestanding stable building. It has torches lit out the front, big sliding wooden doors.
Okay. Is there
Pretty much
anybody?
Timothy basically pointed. That's the place over there, and then
then-
like disappeared back into the street.
he Assassin's Creed himself out.
Yeah, he just pushed his way past everybody.
Yep.
So.
Is there anybody outside that we could see anywhere nearby, other than maybe like milling about, passing by? Obviously not involved with the stables.
So far, what you can see is what you can see, and
Okay.
there's people in this further away in the street. You're like not in a major part where it's like built up places everywhere. This is like sort of on the edge of town where there is, because once again, you're not inside the city walls. You're outside the city walls. So this is a stable where people would keep horses to eventually leave the town anyway.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna take a moment and I want to kind of like pay attention, and I want to listen for anything that seems out of the ordinary.
Everyone can roll perception and alertness. Those of you with Auspex 1 can reduce the difficulty to 4.
Alertness, perception.
Yep.
And reduce the difficulty to what?
4. 4 if you have Auspex.
Does attentive apply?
Yep.
Is it just 6 if you don't?
That's right, 6 if you don't.
Yeah, it's 6 for us.
You normies.
Normal people.
Why does it say success is 1?
Because
It
you
changed
have
my-
1 success.
It changed my difficulty,
You must not.
or didn't change my
Yeah, it
difficulty.
didn't change
Okay.
it.
All
But,
right. Well, so you
but
so
you
so
got
you have
2
3
4s
successes.
and a 7, so that looks like 3 successes to me.
Yeah.
Okay. So it looks like everybody got 3 successes.
Yeah, don't wait
Maybe
for
it's
all
6.
their super senses. We see everything they do.
So you can hear voices from within the stable, and it sounds like chanting. So remind me then, Aiden, what languages do you currently speak?
Let me look that up real quick.
Let me pull up this 9-page PDF document.
Spanish and German, of course.
Yep.
Enochian, Italian, Archaic Greek, Latin, Aramaic, and Slavic and Dalmatic.
Is there any
Okay.
languages that you don't speak?
Yes, many.
What they're chanting in is one of the ones you don't speak.
All the ones he listed.
I only say it because you had the language previously. It's one of the ones you've removed.
Sumerian.
But yeah.
Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. I've also been watching a lot of Stargate SG-1, so languages comes up.
Is
for
it
weeks.
similar to one of the ones that I speak?
I would say that probably Aramaic would be the closest to it.
Can I make a roll to get a gist?
I'll give it to you first off as a player that it's Coptic.
So
and,
Demotic.
Yeah, that's okay. Once again, similar language group. I would say that the similarity allows you to identify the language, but hearing it from outside, actually with 3 successes, it definitely sounds like some sort of ritual sacrifice.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, while
I
everybody's trying to gather information and listening to these people talk, I'm just walking over to the front doors.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Dorno would do the same thing.
You should better move
I
your
think
feet.
what happens. So. I want to picture in my head. We all take a moment to look and see what's what, and we listen and we do whatever. And then Car's just like, "Yeah, fuck this." And then Dornan's like, "I bet." Bogdan's just like, "They're going. I will go somewhat behind them."
Come on, Jordan. We're door buddies.
I will mention
stack
that.
up.
I will mention that we should probably get in there more quickly than not, as they are performing a ritual of some sort.
I mean, Car's walking over to the doors with a purpose, with the idea of just swinging them open and just being like, "I'm here."
Yeah, as soon as Jordan hears ritual, his speed kicks up. I think he would pass Kara.
All right,
And,
we got double doors. You grab one, I grab the other. We swing when we get there. Let's go.
Why don't we just kick at the same time? It would be really cool.
Oh, we're gonna get the
That'd be pretty
cinematic
epic.
double
Let's
kick.
do it.
Yeah.
You gotta give each other head nods before you actually do it, though.
So, as Kara's like stepping up to the door, she pulls out of a pouch in her belt what looks to be like a leather wrapped bit, and sticks it in her mouth and starts chewing on it.
I would like to spend 4 blood
Oh my god!
before combat.
Is she a berserker?
Mm-hmm.
Oh fuck! This is gonna be amazing.
So, Kane, I set up on your sheet that
saw.
in your merits, you should be able to click the tick box next to it. And although it won't change the points. It will give you the extra dice when you actually make the roll, but it will also give you the extra health levels too.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
I turned them on. I'm chewing the bit. I'm
Okay.
I'm berserking my way through this door.
All right.
This is gonna be amazing.
Um,
know what
how,
I only vaguely know what a Viking berserker is. I'm just thinking like, oh god, it's a Viking on meth.
how do I make notation that I have spent blood to pump my physicals?
As far as I know, in this sheet right now, you'll probably just need to make a note of it and then make sure that when you do actually go and make a roll, that you remember to add the extra dice.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
Well,
if there's
I
actually
am putting 2 blood into dexterity and 2 into strength, and drawing my saber.
Okay, no worries. All right, so could I please have Kara and Dornan both make athletics and strength rolls, difficulty 7?
Athletics and strength rolls.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry. Athletics with strength. Difficulty 6.
7.
So, okay.
Nice, nice.
Okay, with combined 2 successes, you guys both boot this door, and it's obviously had like a bar put through the other side because it like rocks heavily from the impact, but does not go in. And a moment later, you see a guy run around the corner here with a sword drawn and a torch, going, "Hey, what are you doing?" Although he's probably saying it in not German, I would say. He's probably saying it in maybe Latin. I think most of you speak. Some of you, I'm sure, speak Latin.
And did we determine if I did or not? I know we did German because of the merchant thing, traveling merchant and stuff.
Yeah, I speak Latin.
I'll pick it up.
Well, at least you get it. So, but yeah, you guys have got weapons drawn, and so he's recognizing this is definitely a conflict. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add everybody to an initiative tracker.
James, I've accidentally added 2 additional broadswords to my sheet. I cannot remove them. I have.
So you have you put a broadsword in each hand, and then you pull the other one out with your teeth.
Yes, that's right.
Gone and gone. So at the top of the sheet, on top of the program, you should see a combat tracker with little dice on your picture. Just click on the dice to roll initiative.
I have a button on my character sheet that says literally roll for initiative +4.
Yep. You can do that too.
I need to somehow add 2 to that because of the dexterity bonus.
Yeah, I can do that. That's fine. All right. Bogdan hasn't rolled so far. It looks like.
I'm sorry, I rolled.
Oh, you roll? Okay.
You'll have to scroll up a little bit.
6. Yeah, I see.
I got a 6 total. It says.
Okay, I'll fix that up.
It also says I have initiative already, so
I don't know. That's no problem.
I don't know what that's about.
So, let me stop this and start this. All right. So, Kara, you've hit the door. Hasn't sprung open. There's definitely like sounds of alarm from inside, and this guy's just running around the corner with a sword drawn.
I'm trying to remember like the action economy.
So
I run over.
effectively, you only have 1 dice roll you can make without celerity as such. Now you can split that dice pool to do 2 things, but you take the smallest dice pool of all things you want to do, and you've only got that many dice to spend across all your actions.
So I can move and then do a dice roll.
Yeah, because moving requires no roll. That's right. If you have to make an athletics check in order to like springboard off something, then that's a different story.
Can I get a free social?
Yeah. Do you want to say something before we get started? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll say if you guys want to take the inside, I'll take the outside.
For Dornan. Dornan's good with that.
Bogdan, I mean, I was trying to figure out the mechanics of this because, not familiar with this. Bogdan saw this guy, and if we hadn't already been in initiative order, I would have been moving to intercept him and just dread gaze him to get him out of the way. But that said, sure, I will follow your lead. Which is obviously non-committed to anything.
So I can spend blood and then kick the door again.
You certainly can, yes.
Okay. I will spend.
Limit how much blood you can spend per turn based upon your generation.
I will So
You can spend up to 4 per turn.
yeah, I'm gonna spend 4 and put it all into strength,
Okay.
Nice.
and then I'm going to try to kick this door again.
Yep. No worries. Same roll. V7.
And I gotta make sure to add my bonus there. Difficulty 7.
Another 2 says, okay, that's enough. So the door, that door is smashed open. On the inside, you can see a group of 4 people. So there are 3 men wearing black robes who are all standing around a woman who is restrained and dressed, in basically, I think it's a picture like headdress, Muslim garb. She looks Canaanite from what you can tell.
Okay.
So you can
She's
still,
the
so you can
woman
still
from the
move.
intro. Sorry.
You can still move your so when you move in an action, you can move 12 plus your dexterity halved in meters. So your dexterity is 4. So you can move 8 meters without needing to and still take an action. So you can move it's 4 squares here. You can move 4 squares now.
That's the measured thing. 2, 3, 4. Sure.
All done for you?
I think I'm done. In a rage, I kick the shit out of the door.
Okay. Biden.
How far can I move?
Fuck, I didn't want to do
What's your
that.
dex is 4?
6.
6. All right, 6. So right now you can move 18 divided by 2, so 9 meters, or basically it's called 5 squares.
One, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, thank you, James, for deleting that bullshit that I drew on there by mistake.
You can move the full distance, but you can't attack in the same turn.
Oh, what? How much can I move and still attack?
So that's as far as you can move and not attack. So, and still attack. If you want to move further, you can't go further and attack at the same time.
Okay. Then, how many meters did you say?
9 meters is how far you can go and still attack.
Okay.
Or you can
said
save your
that
action
was 5
for a
squares.
dodge. Yeah, you can save your action for a dodge if you like.
Yes, I will.
Okay. All right. All right. The woman, she's tied up and is just struggling against her restraints.
Can I?
Moved, yeah.
Can I have my shield?
Sure.
Because I'm sure that's going to become imminently important.
All right. So the sentry, seeing someone running at him with a, is your sword out, by the way? Aiden?
Yes, my sword is out.
Okay. He will come in then, and he will attempt to attack you. So you get to make a Dex Athletics roll as a dodge.
Sure.
You get it for free.
Is it possible for me to do a parry with a
Oh, yeah,
possibility
yes,
of a
Dex
counter
and
attack?
melee. You can do Dex and melee, certainly. Yeah.
Will there be a
So-
possibility of a counter attack?
Let me check with the parry.
I don't
Alright.
think it works that way, but I'm just
There's
asking.
some combat maneuvers that you do that. I'm just thinking if parry. Okay, if the defender rolls more successes than the attacker, applies the successes as a successful attack against the attacker. The attacker may not defend against. So if you get more successes on the parry, then you'll hit him in the process.
Okay, I will parry.
All right, he got 2 successes.
Melee, dexterity, 2 bonus. Difficulty 6,
Yep.
and does feline grace apply?
No. Yeah, I'll say yes in this case. Yeah. Usually I'm very like specialities, except for attribute specialities. I don't like doing a lot in combat because it gets quite power gamey. But I will.
Oh, yeah.
In this case, yeah.
Okay.
You have a second. Can I get my shield?
I will
Shield.
also burn a willpower on this roll.
Yep, for free success.
Ooh.
Oh, okay, so it's a net of 4. So you will do damage equal to strength +2 for rapier, or +1? You got it already worked out?
Strength +2.
Strength +2 plus an additional 3 for the net successes over 1.
Okay.
So just so strength plus strength. Just roll a strength roll with a bonus of 5 dice.
Okay.
2d6.
One
That is
stone.
0.
Hey!
One
One-
do not count against.
We got
well,
another
it-
botch.
Yes.
No,
You can't
it's not a
botch a
botch.
damage roll. You can't botch a damage roll, but in any case, the highest dice was a 4. So you hit him,
Yeah.
but didn't manage to do any actual harm to him. But that's okay. That was his turn though. You hit him on his turn. All right. This first ritualist, seeing what's going on. Has he got anything useful? All right. He is going to turn to Kara and attempt to use Dominate to yell stop. So I think you're hard to control, aren't you?
I am iron-willed.
Yeah, which is +2 difficulty, I believe.
I believe it is
That's good.
+3
It
difficulty.
is +3 to the willpower.
Cool, that's it. All right. So what's your willpower normally? 8 as well, isn't it?
Is 8, yeah.
Okay, so, it's gonna be
So I
different
bumped that
anyway,
up to 11.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not quite.
Final tap.
Oh wow, you still got 2 successes.
Ow.
Yeah.
What are
Oh
the?
no, wait, no. It says
What's
it says
the
a command.
generation?
He is generation of 10, and it also says I think that it can be above 11. It says that difficulties of higher than 10 automatically fail. So I'd say actually, ignore that. He attempts to do it, but you're too strong-willed.
You hear him
control
yell
one
at
of
you,
his
but you ignore him.
Yeah. All right, that's him.
The
now.
only thing going on in Kara's head right now is...
All right. The ritual leader, I think he is going to try and just push the ritual forward. Like he's just going to try and proceed with getting to landing the killing blow. So he's not going to do anything. And then we'll go to the last ritualist, who is quite bulky. He is going to basically walk around to interpose himself between you and the ritual taking place. I can show you his picture so you can see he's a bigger boy. There we go. Bit Kingpin from Daredevil there.
Yeah. Wilson Fisk would like to know your location.
You guys have watched JoJo. Him and I are about to have a standoff.
All right, so that's what he'll do. All right, Dornan.
I'm walking up to the big boy there.
Okay, what's your dex? Only 2. So you can go 7 meters. You only go 4 squares and still attack. So you can reach him, but you can't attack as part of the same turn.
Okay. 1.
But you've got celerity though. Celerity also
Increases.
You can use
I was
celerity
just looking
to
at
go
it.
faster.
You add your celerity rating to your dexterity-based dice pools, including initiative, and you add the rating to the number of yards or meters moved in a turn.
Okay, which still won't get you. It's still not quite enough to get you far enough, but I'll just put you right up to against him.
Okay.
There you go. But that's your turn done though.
Sweet.
All right, Bogdan.
This sentry, if I don't know, I don't know, but I'll ask: is he kindred or kind?
Your guess would be that he is human.
Okay. I am going to dread gaze him, and if I need to move, I will move as much as I need to do. I will move as much as I need to do it.
Fine.
I imagine
You're gonna
line of
drag
sight is
gaze
all.
the sentry that I'm kind of trying to kill.
Yes.
You asshole.
Actually, you know what? That's a fair point. I think because I don't really have like a range or whatever on this ability. Am I right?
Oh, it's within sight.
Yeah.
I doubt he's looking at you though.
Yeah,
He's engaged in combat.
Yeah, he's probably focused on you. How about this ritualist here instead?
Well, so he's focused on the ritual right now.
Ritual leader, and then this guy. Because I don't really have much else I can do except move to get closer to get slapped.
I mean, at least the big guy is looking in your direction,
Yeah,
so maybe you can catch him.
Let me see if I can spook the big guy. So for Dread Gaze, I need to roll Charisma plus Intimidation. The difficulty is equal to Wits plus Courage.
Okay, so in his case, Wits and
it's
Courage is going to be
Charisma,
7.
Intimidation. Oh, look at that. No dice. And I would like to drop some blood on this to make this work a little bit better.
Well, there's no, it's not a physical roll, so normally blood can be used in as physical stats.
Okay, never mind then. What'd you say the difficulty was?
7.
Step. Amazing. This will go swimmingly, I'm sure. Well, yeah.
Okay, 1 success.
Let's see. So that means success indicates the victim is cowed. 3 or more doesn't happen. I guess if at the very least he's a bit stunned, distracted, something. I don't know. I'll let you adjudicate that.
Okay, well, he will spend a willpower point to overcome it, but he's got to keep spending a point of willpower each time. Only for the number of rounds required for this. Okay, so he is using a willpower point to shake it off.
It does also state each success subtracts 1 from the target's action dice pools for their next turn. I don't know if that means anything with the willpower brushing it off. But...
No, that's fine. I'll include that. All right, back to Kara.
I'm helping.
I can move 4 squares.
Yes.
Because it doesn't take a dice pool, can I activate my claws?
Yes, you can.
And I'm gonna try to tear this guy's head off.
Okay.
I don't have claws on my sheet.
Okay, so it'll be. Let me check what the. It's run as per a. Knife is it or for weapons. So okay, so it's going to be a dex and melee. So dex and brawl roll to hit. Difficulty 6.
Okay. Roll dex.
Are there
Okay,
flanking bonuses in World of Darkness? I'm assuming we'd have to be on like either side of the token.
yeah, I mean you can sometimes assist and stuff. Not in this particular case right now. But what I'm going to say is he had a save dodge, but I think he was saving his dodge for Dornan, so he's not going to try and dodge this. Okay, so you've hit. So it's going to be your strength plus 1 plus 3 extra successes. So strength plus 4 damage.
Damn. That's a lot of fucking dice.
So that's 4 ag because he hasn't got fortitude. That was a big hit on that guy.
What does that look like for those of us that maybe aren't familiar with how combat is rendered?
So she's basically just. So he's classified as wounded now. So effectively, you've just like torn open a large, large bloody wound. Although vampires don't bleed, but yeah, like you've opened up like his chest or something. Got a solid blow, which would be most people at this point in time would be trying to get to the hospital.
Right.
So yeah. All right.
Did you count the fact that the ones don't count?
Did it distract? It must have. Because it wasn't a damage roll, was it? You're right. So actually, it should be 2 more. Okay.
Right.
6 aggravated. That's a lot of fucking aggravated
So
damage.
so he's crippled. He's crippled. Yeah. So like he is near death right now, or near final death. All right, Aiden.
I will. I will just ready to parry.
Okay. Cool. So we'll go then to the woman is like sort of help me please. All right, the sentry will attempt to attack you still. He's probably just going to shift, like so when he does get past you. When he kills you, he will moving so he's closer to go help the others, but he will attack you first. So make your parry roll. Yeah, so you beat him by a net 1 success, so that will be just strength plus 2 damage.
Okay.
At 1 damage. Cool. And he's wearing armor, so he can attempt to soak lethal. Which he
Damn.
does, regardless of his armor. Alright.
So basically, he hit and did damage to him, but his armor soaked it all.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's right, yeah. Okay, this ritualist, the one that tried to command, is... Okay, he is going to conjure flame and throw it at Kara.
Oh dear.
Quick question.
I'm making
Yes.
a willpower roll right
The
now.
sentry, what level was his armor?
It's only armor level of 1,
Then he
Just
only
leather
gets
armor.
1 die to soak.
but it gives him the ability. He can roll his stamina to soak lethal, can't he? Still?
Not if he's mortal.
Okay, all right. Let's roll the 1 dice then. Give me a sec. Okay, so he took 1 damage then.
Okay.
All right. So he is going to try and throw this fire at. Well, it's a perception alertness roll to hit. That's interesting. So, Kara, if you want to, you can take your action now to try and dodge it, but then you won't get your attack on your next turn.
Nope.
Okay. Okay, that is a hit. So sorry, Creatio Ignis. So, you have to make a stamina roll, difficulty 3.
That's it.
Yeah. It's
is it-
not a very
Is this against fire?
yeah. Oh, you don't
Yeah.
have you got fortitude? Have you got fortitude?
I do
Yeah.
have fortitude.
Okay, you roll just the
Okay.
fortitude dice then. Sorry, yeah,
Just a fortitude dice, but it's still difficulty 3.
that's right. Yeah, Kara.
Sorry, do you want me to pipe up when there are rules questions?
Yeah, no, it's like we're gonna get used to it anyway. That's why we have a prologue, so we can get these things right now.
Okay.
Well, I'll just.
Wow.
Hey,
Okay.
there you go. You soaked it because we're only 1 level aggravated. So, and therefore you don't catch fire.
Which is a bonus.
Um,
The,
I don't
the
think
Kara
you-
train continues to give no fucks.
you don't need. You don't need. Well, I think you're immune to rot check when you're
I am.
Yep. So I wouldn't need rot
Oh, that's right.
check.
You're
Okay.
You're
I'm too mad for Rot Trek.
Yeah.
mad or mad? Yeah.
All right. The ritual leader progresses
Little bit of
1 more
both.
step. He's getting very close to being able to land the killing blow now. The big guy, I think he's going to try and he got the healing ability with.
It's also down
does
a
not.
die.
He doesn't high enough. He's down a lot of die.
Just wanted to make sure
Um,
my one that I knew about was accounted for.
Yeah.
I'm helping, James. I'm helping. I'm literally the guy with his arms up in a Y.
Hey,
I think
I'm mean.
I think he's going to try and flee. So if you want to, Dawn and Kara, if you want to, you can use a reaction to make an attack against him, but that will be your action for your next turn.
Does that include movement?
I know you can still move.
You wanna
So start,
do you wanna
start
go for it, Dornan?
No, I'm all good. Did you?
I kind of want to rip this ritual leader in half.
Yeah, okay, I'll take one of them.
Okay. So it's
Melee
going to be
strength- or melee dex, sorry.
Yep.
With 6 or 7.
6. Okay, you hit him, so you will do strength plus 4 damage. So just a strength dice, a strength roll, and put bonus of 4.
And then difficulty, same thing.
6. Yeah. Okay, so that is actually lethal.
And
So
there's a
that will-
1 in there, so that's 3.
3. Okay, so that'll be because that'll take him to incapacitate. Then over, so effectively, if you want to, you can just cut his head off as part of this attack.
Hell yeah, do it.
And he'll meet final death.
Do it.
Yeah, Jordan would probably say something like, I hope you've made peace with your maker. And then he would
Okay.
just do it.
All right, he dies. His final death.
Backhand
Excellent.
his neck.
All right, next up is Dornan. So you've used your action, but you still get your move.
Yeah, I'd step forward onto these guys.
All right. Bogdan.
Yes, I would like to use awe, and if I'm reading this right, awe is basically a charm spell.
It pretty much draws all attention to you.
Yeah, I'll take that. Although I'm sure I'm gonna die for it. Basically, what I want them to do is one, I want to disrupt whatever they're doing to the woman, and then if possible, like, effectively distract them or make them oblivious to the fact that they're about to get eaten alive. So I need to choose my impression. I'm basically just, I want them, let me see. Yeah, I just want them to fear me. I want them to literally fear me. And
Okay.
I need to roll charisma plus performance difficulty 7.
7. Yeah.
So
And spend a blood point too.
do I drop a blood point?
Yeah, it says he spent.
Oh, yeah, it does
pay
say
for the
that,
blood
yeah,
point
okay.
rolls,
Charisma.
Hope you got a lot of blood to spare.
I do. Ish. Difficulty 7.
Yep.
Roll it. Does not look great.
Okay, so
So that means I get one of them.
The person with the lowest willpower in the
Yeah.
can see you.
And I don't know which one that is. I would like it to be the ritual leader, but I'm pretty sure that's not going to work that way.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be Dornan, in fact.
I don't want...
Oh.
Oh, does it affect Dornan, too?
Yeah, awe does not differentiate between
It
friend and
doesn't-
foe.
It doesn't discriminate.
Son of a
yeah.
bitch.
So Dornan, you feel fear of Bogdan.
Ah! The slimy car salesman. I understand.
The slimy...
scared
The
of-
slimy... Oh, I'm not going to be a car salesman.
Okay, fine. I'll hear the 48-month option.
I'll buy the paint protection. Just leave me alone.
Oh, that did not work out the way I wanted to. Oh, well. Hey, learning point.
Yep. Kara.
All right.
I think Bogdan's literally standing there going, shit, that's not what I wanted.
All right. I'm gonna go for the claw
Okay.
on the ritual leader, and I'm gonna see if I made this right.
Hey, you could spell willpower to brush that off, basically.
You can, yes.
Since I just fucked you.
Okay, so that is a hit. I think he will take his reaction and try and avoid that, but he's not very good at it, so let's see how he goes. It might at least take the...
To get ended up a pile of ash, his head gets removed as well.
No, gets no successes. Okay, so you will do your strength plus 3 damage aggravated. So that is 4, 5 because there's the 1 there. So he takes 5.
Let's see, did that math right? It didn't do. I forgot to. I need to roll 4 more dice.
Okay.
So
so
that's
another-
2 more.
another- 2 more. Yeah. Okay, well that's enough to
6 aggravated.
7. 7.
7.
There was a 1 previously. So yeah.
7 aggravated.
Okay, so
Christ.
that's enough to kill him. So yeah. He does the whole Buffy the Vampire Slayer crumble to black dust.
Hey, Thanos is out.
Iden.
He must have been old. I am going to move.
Yep.
To here. And ready to parry again.
Okay. Yeah, the woman's still asking here. Thank you. Help me, please. Get rid of this guy. Alright, the sentry is going to try and attack you. Come on. Alright. Short sword. And he completely misses. In fact, he drops his sword with a botch. You can still roll your parry though.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He swings
So
to defend and hits
strength
him
plus
as
7
an
lethal.
attack.
Strength +2 +5. Yes,
so 7.
7. Strength 7. Difficulty 6.
You'll soak 1. Okay, so that'll be 6. So you can take 5 more lethal.
Yep.
Oh, look at those 10s in that roll.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's down to crippled. He's not looking very healthy at all. All right. The final ritualist is sort of like all these people around him, killing all these friends. He's sort of like, who are you people? Why are you attacking? And I think he's going to try and run as well. So first off, Dawn, do you want to make a free attack? Jabba?
Oh, sorry.
Homeboy's running away. You want to go for the free stab?
Yeah. 6 or 7.
6. Okay, so that'll be strength plus 3 damage. Lethal.
Sure. I have to remember to move the 3 over because the type starts in front of the 0. So when I put the 4 last time, and the 3 this time it turned into 40 and 30, and I was like, that might be a bit much.
It'd look really cool though.
Alright, so that'll be 3 lethal. I guess sorry, this because he's a vampire.
Can I tell if the sentry is mortal or not?
You believe so, given how fast, how easy your blade cuts through him?
What's that?
You would say so based upon how easy your blade is cutting through him.
Okay.
Alright, Kara, you can make a free attack if you want now.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that'll hit. So it'll be strength plus 5 aggravated.
5.
Guardian Claws is just one of the best powers in the game. As far as physicals go.
9 aggravated.
What do you do? Just rip him in half?
10. 10. There's
so,
one
so,
in
so,
there.
hold on. So what's your strength currently?
So my base is 2. I'm berserking to 4. I spent 4 blood to get up to
8.
8.
So
Yep.
to 8 because So
So you should be
Uh,
rolling. You should be rolling 13 dice.
You
And I
have to
get-
spend, if you want your strength to stay at
so
8, you have
the
to spend
berserk-
blood
hold
every
on.
turn.
the berserk bonus to strength isn't using that. It's a temporary thing, like a shapeshift.
Oh, okay.
So I'm at 6 and I'm berserking to 8.
Okay.
Which an 8 plus 5 should be 13 dice, and you've rolled 18 dice there. 17 dice. Sorry. Where's 4 extra dice coming from?
So we've got the 4 plus 4 plus the 5 from the successes.
Which should be 4 plus 4
That's
plus
still
5 is
13
13.
though.
Doing math at 1 in the morning.
Yeah. In any case, even if I just take the first 13 dice, that's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like more than enough to kill him. But yeah, we need to look at what's happening there because it's getting you the wrong number of dice. Because yeah, it wouldn't be 17 dice damage, even with all your extra buffs. But
It
he's
is
still very
saying,
much dead.
James, it is saying strength 4 plus 3 plus 10 aggravated.
Yeah, so the
And that
the
does
4
add
would
up to
be
17.
yeah, no, but I don't know where that tango is. It should be base 4 strength,
Right,
plus 3 for his net successes on the attack.
right.
Because you subtract 1 success we're going to hit, and then he gets to add an additional 1 base for the claws, and then plus whatever bonus strength he's got, which is an extra 4.
Yeah.
That'd be plus 5, not plus 10.
So the
Okay, so I've got 2 base, plus 2 for berserking, plus 4 for blood, plus 1 from the protein
Base
power
pro-
by itself,
Yeah.
plus 5 from the successes.
Well, you only got 4 successes, and only 3 should count.
That's
Anyway,
still
he's-
8
he's-
successes.
Yeah, he's fine. He's dead. He's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll have to work out later on to make it right for the future. But yeah, certainly.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what happened with the math, so I can see whether or not I broke something with the thing I made.
it almost looks like the computer's doing something wrong.
I don't know.
Yeah. So I'm not going to worry about you having to deal with this last wound on this guard. So it's up to you. Aiden, do you want to kill him or let him go?
Indeed.
Kill him.
Kill him. Okay, cool. All right, so
He
he's
is
also killed.
associated with the Infernalists. Kill him.
All right, cool. So that ends the combat.
I'm going to end the awe, by the way. I have the option to end that. Since it didn't work out the way I wanted it to, I'm going to end it now that I can.
Thank you.
Also,
I appreciate it.
probably apologize. That was some good fighting. I don't know what happened with that Furmy thing. I think he just trails off. He doesn't know what to say.
Because it's funny, we are still in the same scene, which means I need to spend 3 rounds worth of time calming the fuck down before to end the berserk, or I'll be stuck in berserk.
In
So I'm
fact,
gonna
actually,
like wander off over here, just like it's a gibbering mess trying to calm down.
I think as he's off there screaming into the void in Protean, Gangrel, whatever, and I'm going to apologize to Dornan. I'm also going to go check out this woman and be like,
Yeah.
with my
This,
greasy, I want to sell you half of Europe smile, because I'm not selling cars, I'm selling land now.
The woman,
Are you-
was like,
Are you selling Scottish titles?
Yes,
I was just about to say
No.
that.
Yes,
Yeah.
He's selling
Yes.
sand in the desert.
yes, real authentic Middle Eastern sand. Straight from the Holy Land. I am Bogdan. It is not exactly a pleasure to meet you. It is nice to meet you. It's just, I wish it was under better circumstances. And I'm going to help her up off of the
Yes.
altar or whatever
Wait.
she was on.
Aisha bint Wahib.
Gesundheit.
I assume you're on tire, I assume?
I'm sorry, I was making jokes and I missed half of what you said.
Do you leave her tied up or do you untie her?
No, I'm going to help her up.
My thanks upon you, good sir, for protecting me from those Tremere.
Yeah,
They were Tremere.
that's not a name I hear very often. And what is
Yes,
your name,
they-
my dear?
I said Aisha bint Wahib.
Yes, Aisha. It is nice to meet you. I am Bogdan. These are my friends, Doran and Aiden. The woman over there She'll come back in a moment. Her name is Kara.
Ah!
Um,
Perhaps we should find some other place to be, and we could talk more about what is really going on here, and also maybe report back to that priest, monk, whatever he was.
I should return to the hospice. I don't recognize you. Are new Canaanites to Jerusalem?
Pilgrims on the road, if you will.
I see. Well, I give you my thanks. If you need to find me, I can give you directions to the hospice in which I work at nights.
That would be beneficial. Please.
All right.
Such a unique name.
If you show her your map, she will like write down
Yeah.
where her hospice is.
I don't know who has the map. We can assume I still have it if nobody else did.
I gave it to you.
I took a
and-
look at it.
Yeah, which
But
means you've
that
got it
was
locked
it.
away in your mental tome.
Yeah.
Aiden, could you give me a perception and occult roll?
Oh, sure.
Anybody that's looking around here can make perception and occult. Not Kara. Now Kara is currently still.
I mean, it's
Does
just going,
attentive apply?
Yep, I think so.
it's just going to be a perception roll, but sure.
You can't roll a knowledge without any points in it.
Oh well, in that case, I won't make a roll.
6 or so. 6. Yeah.
6. Okay,
Nice.
look at you guys on fire. Okay, so first off, you can both tell that this was not an infernal ritual. There's like the symbols here are more built around magic and thaumaturgy than infernalism.
Okay.
And secondly, it didn't look like a ritual diablerie either. This was more like just a ritual killing.
Do we have
Not many rituals that applies to. So I'm not sure what this would be from. What ritual this would be. Out of character.
Yeah, I mean, it may be it's an unimportant ritual, maybe not one of the ones in the system. Yeah, it's purely just rather than killing her outright, they wanted to complete a ritual to kill her, potentially to steal her power, whatever. It doesn't need to be a.
It's the Tremere.
from
Who
the
knows
book.
what they're doing?
Yeah.
Is there any like Okay, so again, I'm not very familiar with some of the mechanics or what have you, but when these vampires were killed, is there anything left of the remains? Or,
Oh, yeah,
or did they
definitely.
really burn
They're-
up into ash or whatever?
No. Their body, the one that was beheaded, dropped. Even the one that like disintegrated, his clothes still remained.
I'm going to rifle through their pockets and see what evidence or any other information I might find.
Okay. I mean, you pick up an inconsequential amount of currency, like this, coins, etc. They do have the trappings of Christianity among them as well. Although certainly, the ritual tools as well that would, the various things required for thaumaturgy, blood magic, enough that you can definitely verify that they were Tremere, and it looks like probably documents that you could read to indicate that they were hunting this woman for a while.
Okay.
Right, Kara, at this point you can return.
Okay, so I'll
I
walk over
realize-
and look at Aisha. She's Canite.
Yes.
Okay. And I'll look down and see the stuff you guys have been pulling out of pockets, and Kara doesn't seem surprised. From the beginning, she assumed that 90% of what we said was probably false, and was just satisfied with our sires wanted us to kill this guy's enemies. I didn't care who they were.
Yeah, I think Bogdan's kind of getting that vibe of like, we've killed vampires that were not actually infernalists. These were Tremere, and that means we may have disrupted somebody's plans. And now I'm trying to figure out like, where do we fit in the, like, are we just the useless pawns that went to go do the bidding, or is there more to this or that? And I've heard a lot of things, like, did we just start some bullshit that we're not going to be able to get out of? I think there's definitely a, not necessarily existential look on Bogdan's face, but certainly a moment of, oh dear, we may have stepped into it, dealing with these Tremere shits. And then...
Well,
But
I would ask her if you're looking to leave, is there something you wish for us to say to Brother Bernardus for you?
Brother Bernardus, he is a friend of mine. He sent you, did he?
Yes.
Well, first I'll pass on my thanks. I owe my own life to him, and probably many others in the hospice will owe their lives still to my presence there. All I can do is pass on my thanks.
we shall pass that on, indeed. I think we have little else here, unless there is something that one of you want to do.
Well, I will speak
Alright.
up and say,
Famished.
this is not an infernal ritual.
Yes,
So?
Tremere. She said Tremere.
Why does it matter?
Because there are apparently other signs of infernalism within the city.
If you believe the journals of the seer.
Yes.
If we try to save
she's
the world
gonna
all
leave
in
it.
one night, we will never get anything accomplished. My
She
friend.
says what?
She
I
lives.
was just saying, yeah, if no one's stopping her, then she'll leave now.
Yeah. I think
Sure.
Bogdan will... I think at some point Bogdan will definitely try to kiss her hand at some point. You know, whether as greeting or departure, but...
Bogdan, give me a perception and alertness roll, difficulty 9.
Oh my. Alertness, perception, 9.
Yeah.
Oh, got one.
Nope.
Nope.
No.
Oh, does 0 count as a 0, not as a 10?
It's a 10, but you also rolled a 1.
Oh, bitch.
No, it's weird. It didn't come up on my. I saw the
At
dice
least you
start roll,
didn't
but then,
botch.
yeah. You can spend a willpower for a free success if you like.
When do I get it back? Next morning?
When you
Next
wake-
day?
When you
Yeah,
wake
or
up,
when
you get one back.
Yeah, I'll spend a willpower.
Okay. Just as you bend down to kiss her her wrist, and you sort of look up, and you notice that just under where her headscarf meets her forehead is an odd vertical horizontal scar in the middle of her forehead.
It was nice to meet you. Perhaps our paths will cross again.
Yes, thank you.
Please be
And I'll
careful.
say this.
Truly, there are dark things in the night. And then
I
I'll
think
look back
her
to the
leaving-
others. And then I'll look back to the others and be like, well, I am hungry. Perhaps a moment or two spent in pursuit of fine foods before we return to Brother Bernardus. We have the evening ahead of us.
Sounds good to me.
Sure.
I think that is where we
I
will
am.
leave off.
I
as you guys
miss
leave.
my herd.
Oh, we're back to the landing page. It must mean we're near the end. Of the
Well,
evening.
I said-
we're
that's what
definitely
we're gonna-
we're not quite officially overtime, but yeah, we're definitely at the end for the night.
That's where we're going to leave off.
Nice.
Do we get experience points in this game?
Yeah, I normally do experience at the end of a story.
Okay.
So like at the end of the chapter sort of thing. So yeah.
Okay.
Or the prologue in this case.
In that case, feedback and outros. Let's start with Kane.
The car train has no fucks.
Clearly, it was all right.
Yep. I put 1 point in fortitude, and it's already stopped a point of aggravated damage.
Yeah, a fireball.
Well,
if I'm not
and
mistaken.
more. Well, it was the lowest level of Creo Ignan, but yeah, he would have been set on fire as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, that was very fortunate, especially for the rest of us too. Indirectly.
Yeah. I'm going to enjoy this
I am so
character.
sorry. I just realized something. I am going to drag that body inside.
Yep.
And drink it dry.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you can
Rude.
take this blood, definitely.
Eating in front of the rest of us and not even sharing.
You're now one step bloodbound of the Tremere that you just killed. Just killed
Jabba.
So how much
sorry.
blood do I get back from that?
10.
New guy Jabba. What
Yeah.
what sort of feedback or outro related comments do you have to offer?
I don't know. I had a good time tonight. It was fun.
Good.
Like, I like meeting new people, play with new people, seeing how they like interact with the systems and stuff like that. So, no, I had like a good time overall.
Good.
I think I'll have fun with you guys.
That's even
And,
better. That's I'm trying so hard not to speak like Bogdan right now, but it's like that's the stuff we want to hear around here. That and next time bring coffee, damn it. For
yeah,
all of
true.
us, that is. To be clear, I meant for you to bring coffee for all of us, not just you.
No, I know.
Not me. I
Yeah,
don't
Darius
drink
wants
coffee.
tea. He wants tea.
Tea.
You know,
Okay.
sleepy time blood tea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry if like
I only
Gordon
have
was a
one
bit
vice.
standoffish. That's just like
Oh
I
no,
felt like his character. I was like, fuck. I was realizing that like the first few interactions. I was like, god damn, he was like really standoffish.
no, that's
This
fine.
isn't-
I love it. Listen, I'm curious. I'll pick Kane's mind here in a moment. I'm curious. Well, before we get to that, let's do Darius. Darius, what sort of feedback or outro comments you got for us?
I enjoyed it. This is the first time I am actually going through TC in its entirety.
Oh, the Transylvania
Um,
Chronicles or whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
Excellent.
So I am definitely looking forward to this.
Same.
And you probably know that what this prologue is not part of Transylvania Chronicles. So
No,
Oh.
this has the feel of.
no.
Listen, when I say this, I don't mean any offense or whatever or anything like that. I mean this absolutely in the best way. This had the feel of something that James put together, and I liked it. Like this is a really good like way to bring the characters to the table. I like that. I am curious though, Kane. You said something tonight, and you were like, "Oh, you're going to play your character this way." What exactly did you mean by that? I'm
As the incorrigible flirt with everything.
Oh
that-
yes. Oh yeah.
that
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's not it.
One part
Yeah.
bard definitely is coming through. I didn't mean for that when I initially created it, but I was like, I'm gonna play a bisexual character. I don't know how that's gonna work out for me because I myself am not bisexual, but let's see what happens.
It's not that. It's your aggressive flirting.
Oh
That's
yeah,
what I was coming
yeah,
to.
that, yeah, absolutely. Listen, that part is easily explained by the fact that I'm a Libra. That's what we do. James, what sort of feedback, outro comment? I mean, obviously, some feedback from you, the game master or storyteller, is probably a little weird, but whatever you got, throw it to us.
So first of all, I was really happy with the pacing tonight. So the prologue is broken into 5 acts. Some are shorter than the others, or longer than the others. We got through Act 1. I had Act 1 and Act 2 pre-prepared just in case. But my target was to get to the end of Act 1, and certainly, like we were right on the money time wise. I think you've already started to unravel. Yeah, some of the questions you started to ask there at the end.
Yeah.
Very important questions will quickly become important at the start of the next.
Well, yeah,
session.
Because I started thinking like, wait, hold on. Bogdan probably is aware of the schemy bullshit vampires do. And knowing that they were just basically sent in like, hey, go deal with this very small problem. Did we just start some shit? TM? Like trademarked?
So probably Kane and Darius might have figured out what this woman is based upon what you saw.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Yeah, so
well, does Kane share it with, or does Kane's character share it with the rest of us?
Well, I don't know if Kane's character knows.
Kara has no fucking clue. I do.
Yeah.
Well, okay,
but is Kara going to share the information that she saw that?
Kara didn't see it.
Kara.
It was Bogdan that saw it, and Bogdan was Bogdan saw it, and he's just like, that's interesting, but it's not something that's going to register in his head. It's something to share.
Yeah.
Because I mentioned she had a not a veil. What's the other, like that headdress in the image, right? Where her forehead was covered.
Like a hijab sort of thing. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, hijab.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah, so it was definitely covered.
She had an Arabic name. That's right.
Yeah, yeah. It was just the fact that when you were bent down.
Yeah.
You saw it.
For anybody interested, I have figured out what happened with that dice pool.
Oh,
okay,
what happened?
Oh, good.
Okay, so we had at the beginning of the damage calculation, the strength 4 is my 2 base strength plus my 2 berserk strength.
Right.
The plus 10 aggravated was 4 for blood, 1 base for the claws, and I incorrectly put 5 from the attack.
When the attack should have been +3 for.
Well, and so
Right.
and the attack will all, if you use the weapon to attack, Foundry will automatically add the net
Right.
successes
That's
to the damage
as
roll.
I was going to continue to say. I was trying to
Yeah.
figure out where that untyped +3 was coming from, and I figured out because I made it as a weapon instead of individual roll.
Yeah,
It put the 3 in that it was supposed to instead of the 5 that I put it incorrectly anyways.
So you put too much in because you weren't aware the computer was already compensated for it.
Well, yes, I put in something it was going to put in anyways, and I put it in wrong.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So for the benefit of the audience, by the way, just to like pull back the veil on the last bit there. So Aisha was a salubri. The salubri are already at this point in time being hunted by the Tremere, and a lot of princes will give Tremere like a blind eye towards hunting salubri. They don't enjoy the protection of many princes as such. So in many ways, them capturing and killing a salubri is not technically, they haven't breached any laws of Jerusalem in doing so. But maybe by killing them, maybe you have.
Yep. I need just one quick second, guys.
Because
Yep. If you use the weapon to roll and then use the weapon again to do damage, it does not count the ones against it.
That's right. Yeah, it knows for damage rolls. It knows for soak rolls to ignore the one. They don't reduce the net successes.
We've already figured that out.
Yeah.
All right. Any other things to resolve? Are we good for next week? I don't remember from our conversation last time.
I think no, I think we couldn't do next week. We could do the week after.
Okay. So.
Okay.
So for those viewing, whether you're watching live on the stream or if you're watching in YouTube, next week's episode or next week's Saturday night stream will be Crusader Kings 3 with the Princes of Darkness mod. Our vampire Scott Bruja character will come to play instead of this coterie of fine vampires here. That said, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you have, please consider smashing all of the buttons, liking, subscribing, commenting, etc., etc., etc. I have a few other things I usually say here, but I'm just gonna get out because Jabba is waving his hands and it's distracting me crazy. This world is a crazy dark world, so make sure you're doing what you got to do to take care of you and yours. As for me and mine, we are out of here. See you next time. Have a good one, my friends.
Later, everyone.